This school doesn't seem so bad, Leo said, walking beside Riley on the sidewalk leading to the main gate of Lincoln High. So, how are your grades these days? Riley's face flushed slightly as she shot him a look. You know the answer to that. Riley had always struggled academically. Passing a test was a rare event. Her younger sister, Sophie, was the complete opposite. Her grades were stellar, and their parents never had to worry about her schoolwork. Of course, it wasn't that Riley was unintelligent. On the contrary, her mind was incredibly sharp and active. She just had zero interest in studying. It was a common story. Some students just weren't built for the traditional academic grind. If they found something they were passionate about, they could take off like a rocket, reaching heights others could only dream of. You should at least try to learn something that'll make you money, Leo advised patiently. If you just drift through every day, life's going to feel pretty empty. I've got you, so it's fine. What did you say? Riley's heart pounded, her face growing warmer. I mean, you're making so much money writing your stories now, so why do I need to work so hard as your little sister? I've got you right. You can't just mooch off your brother forever, can you? Leo grumbled. Have you ever thought about finding a boyfriend? Getting married? There got to be some decent guys at your school, and you're not exactly ugly. For some reason, his words set her off. She stopped dead in her tracks and glared at him. Seriously, old man? Are you that desperate to get rid of me? Leo was completely baffled by her outburst. What the hell? I'm your brother. Of course I want my sister to find her own happiness. Furious, Riley swung her shoulder bag and whacked him with it. Fine. I'll just go find some loser with a face tattoo who rides a dirt bike through the neighborhood and marry him. See if you're still nagging me then. As long as you're happy, I don't care if he's got a rainbow mohawk, Leo said, reaching out to pinch her soft, pale cheek with a careless smile. Hey, you know there's plenty of room to park a dirt bike in front of our building. Isn't that one of your friends over there? Looks like they're calling you. Leo noticed a few girls walking toward them from the school gate. In the next second, Riley suddenly grabbed Leo's wrist, opened her mouth, and bit down, then sprinted toward the group of girls. Go to hell, you old fossil. Riley yelled back, flashing him a middle finger and a cute, mischievous scowl. I'm never getting married. I'm going to drain your bank account for the rest of my life. So there. With that, a relieved, happy smile spread across her face as she ran to catch up with her roommates. Crazy kid. Watch out for bikes, Leo said, not the least bit angry. This kind of playful, combative dynamic was the most natural way for him to interact with his defiant little sister. Riley, who was that? One of her friends asked as the breathless girl reached them. Their eyes shifted to Leo, who was heading toward the parking lot, their gossip senses tingling. Is that your boyfriend? He's pretty cute. And tall. Wouldn't you like to know? Riley hummed, looking smug. She clutched her now empty bag and skipped back onto campus, her spirits soaring. Driving back to the Evergreen Terrace, Leo ran into Lily Reed at the elevator just as she was returning with groceries. She didn't look well today. Her delicate face was pale, her smooth forehead dotted with fine beads of sweat. The color had drained from her lips, leaving her looking incredibly weak. Leo greeted her warmly. Hey, getting groceries this early? Yeah, Lily nodded, stepping unsteadily into the elevator. Leo glanced at the clear plastic bag in her hand, which held nothing but a few sprigs of bok choy. He looked back at her frail expression and couldn't help but ask with concern. What have you been up to? You look exhausted. Are you okay? I'm fine, Lily said, her eyes half closed as she forced a smile. She still remembered the $300 she owed him. I get paid soon. I'll pay you back then. Whoa. Hey, you really don't look okay, Leo said, alarmed. Her voice was weak, and she could barely stand upright. Don't worry about the money. You should get home and rest. I'm fine. The words had barely left her mouth when her vision went black. Without warning, she collapsed toward him. Holy crap, what's wrong with you? Leo quickly caught her, his hand instinctively going to her forehead. It was burning hot. You're on fire. You have a fever. It's nothing. You don't have to worry about me. I'll be fine after some sleep, Lily insisted stubbornly, grabbing his arm to try and push herself up. But before she could even get steady, she slumped back into his arms. All right, that's it. I'm taking you to a doctor, Leo said, wrapping an arm around the unsteady woman and pressing the button for the underground parking garage. The mention of a hospital seemed to jolt her. You really don't have to. I'll be fine after a nap. I already called in sick to my professor. By the time you wake up, you might be stiff as a board. Why are you so stubborn? Reaching the garage, Leo guided Lily to his Mercedes, opened the back door, and helped her into the back seat. My life is never dull, is it? Leo muttered with a wry shake of his head, hitting the gas and heading for the exit. Don't go to OHSU, Lily suddenly pleaded from the back seat, lurching forward to grab his shoulder. My grandmother is there. I don't want her to know. Yeah, I know. Just sit back, okay? Leo sighed, keeping his hands on the wheel. Lily was already delirious with fever, her sweaty head resting against the window as she mumbled nonsense. So hot. It's so tight. Just hang in there. You got a fever. I can't risk turning on the AC. Leo glanced in the rearview mirror and saw her fumbling behind her back. There was a soft click, like a clasp coming undone. Her brow loosened completely under her blouse. Her previously unremarkable top was suddenly stretched taut, the effect stunningly dramatic. Leo stared, dumbfounded. He knew she had a figure, but this was beyond anything he'd imagined. Considering she was sick, he forced himself not to look, except for quick glances when stopped at red lights. With Lily unsecured in the back, he drove slowly for safety. It took them nearly half an hour to reach a standard community hospital. Leo parked, opened the back door, and scooped Lily into his arms before running full tilt toward the entrance. Lily had a common fever. Not wanting to wait in a long registration line, Leo took her straight to the emergency room and handled the admission paperwork. Once everything was settled, he was about to head to her room to check on her when a nurse with a serious expression stopped him, saying one of the doctors needed to speak with him. Shit, she doesn't have some terminal illness, does she? Leo thought, a wave of panic washing over him as he followed the nurse into the doctor's office. You must be Mr. Shepard. A female doctor in her 40s adjusted her glasses, studying him. Do you know what's going on with your girlfriend? No, Leo replied. It was normal to be mistaken for her boyfriend in this situation. He just wanted to know why the doctor had called him in. Besides the fever, we've determined that your girlfriend is suffering from extreme fatigue, severe sleep deprivation, and malnutrition, the doctor stated gravely, listing Lily's symptoms. She then added, your girlfriend is very well endowed. The bra she was wearing was a size 30. There's no way she can wear that. She's lucky it didn't cause more serious problems. The doctor couldn't help but add with a small, wry smile, and frankly, the color of that thing was so drab. I'm almost 40, and I wouldn't be caught dead in a style like that. As her boyfriend, you could at least buy her something pretty. It'd be easier on your eyes, too, wouldn't it? Leo just nodded along. All right. Okay, she's been given a shot to bring the fever down, the doctor said, her tone serious again. She absolutely needs to rest for the next few days. You can't let her overexert herself again. Yes, I understand, Leo said sincerely. He double-checked. So, there's nothing seriously wrong? Like cancer or something? Excuse me? Young man, are you hoping your girlfriend has cancer? No, of course not, Leo said with an awkward laugh. He scratched his head and, swallowing his pride, asked so. What size bra should she be wearing? Around 6 in the evening, Lily's eyes fluttered open. She was staring at an unfamiliar ceiling, the sounds of footsteps echoing from the hallway. She looked down at the 4-needle in her right hand and the drip bag hanging above her, then noticed she was wearing a white hospital gown. It all came back to her, collapsing in the elevator, Leo putting her in his car. She couldn't remember anything after that. Hey, you're awake? Leo, who had been scrolling through TikTok, immediately shut it off and sat down beside her, placing a hand on her forehead. Yep, not so hot anymore. How are you feeling? A little better? Much better. Thank you, Lily said, her heart warming with gratitude. I'll pay you back for all the money you spent today. Sure, I'll be waiting, Leo said, waving it off dismissively. He brought over a container of broth he had bought, checked that the temperature was right, and held a spoonful to her lips. Here, open up. Lily flinched back, stunned by the gesture. And no, you don't have to. I can do it myself. Here, Leo said, handing her the spoon. Show me. I'd love to see how you manage that. Unless you're left-handed? Lily glanced at the 4 in the back of her right hand and lowered her head, looking utterly dejected. Please don't be mean to me. Leo took the spoon back and held it to her lips again. Who's being mean? I just can't stand how stubborn you are. Now eat. Lily shot him a shy glance before quickly taking a sip from the spoon, chewing the small bits of chicken and noodles with an adorable, innocent look. A soft burp escaped her after she finished the whole container of soup. She immediately turned her head away in embarrassment. Looks like you're full, Leo said, getting up. He handed her a small bag. This is for you. The doctor said your old one didn't fit. You'd risk circulation problems if you kept wearing it. Lily's size was so unusual that Leo had driven to several lingerie shops before finally finding the right size at a specialty store that imported European brands. Curiously, Lily opened the bag. When she saw the large-size bra inside, she froze. And just so we're clear, the nurses changed your clothes, not me. I didn't. Before Leo could finish, he saw Lily's shoulders start to shake. Tears welled in her eyes, falling silently onto the blanket. It was the first time Leo had ever seen a girl cry without making a single sound. Lily didn't know why she was crying. She could endure being ostracized by her roommates. She could endure her boss cheating her out of her wages. She could endure visiting her grandmother under the scorching summer sun. But in this moment, when she should have been happy, feeling so cared for and deeply touched, she couldn't stop the tears. Growing up in a tragic home environment had made Lily incredibly withdrawn. Her low self-esteem made her feel she didn't even deserve to be treated with kindness. When others showed her goodwill, her default, meek response was always, "I'm fine, don't worry about me." But now, here was someone taking care of her with such thoroughness, as if to say, "How could I not worry about you?" That feeling of being cared for, of matching someone, shattered the self-deprecating walls around her heart. "Thank you, Leo," Lily whispered, wiping the tears from her eyes with her sleeve. Her delicate, tear-streaked face broke into a smile as bright as the stars. "You're such a good person." Ding! Lily Reed's affinity for the host has increased by 10 points. Current affinity, 30. Please continue your efforts. "Then you can thank me by not calling me a good person," Leo said, reaching out to gently tousle her hair. He packed up the empty soup container. "Get some rest. I'll come pick you up tomorrow morning. For now, just relax. I'm going to grab something to eat." The hospital room felt exceptionally quiet with just Lily in it. Occasionally, nurses would hurry past the door, pushing gurneys. In this unfamiliar place, watching Leo turn to leave, Lily's heart clenched. She called out impulsively, "Leo?" "Yeah? What's up?" Leo asked, turning back, container in hand, to look at the hesitant girl on the bed. "In nothing," Lily whispered, her voice barely audible as she lowered her head. Leo sighed softly, closed the door, and left. Lily stared at the closed door, her tear-filled eyes brimming with helplessness and humility. She desperately wanted him to stay, even if they did nothing at all. But she knew they weren't close. The fact that he'd brought her to the hospital was already more than she could have asked for. Why did she have to ask him to stay with her? "Doctor, please, you have to save my dad. I'm sorry. We did everything we could. Please, accept our condolences." Heart-wrenching sobs echoed from the next room, followed by a doctor's resigned voice. Lily trembled, curling into a ball under the covers as images of her parents, mangled and bloody on their hospital beds, flooded her mind. A few minutes later, the door to her room opened. Thinking it was a nurse coming to change her four-bag, Lily quickly wiped her tears and sat up. But it wasn't a nurse in white. It was Leo, holding a bag of snacks. "Can you believe there are no decent restaurants around this hospital?" he said, walking over to her bed. He pulled a pastry out of the bag and offered it to the stunned girl. "Want one?" Lily stared blankly at the pastry in his hand. "Why? Why are you back?" "It's late. Nothing to do back home anyway." "Thought I'd keep you company," Leo said, sitting down on the empty bed next to hers. He noticed her still staring at him. "What, are you tired? Want to sleep? I can go." No, I slept all afternoon. I'm not tired at all." So. Lily was so emotional she could barely form a sentence. Under Leo's amused gaze, she gradually calmed down and pleaded with a look of complete reliance. "Please don't go, okay?" Ding! Lily Reed's affinity for the host has increased by 10 points. Current affinity, 40. Please continue your efforts. That was fast, Leo thought, stunned by the rapid increase. He felt that if he asked her to go to a hotel right now, so he could personally help her put on the new bra he bought, this poor, long-suffering girl would probably agree without hesitation. Girls from difficult family backgrounds often craved affection, especially someone like Lily who had lost her parents at a young age. It was the main reason girls like her were so easy to pursue. Their hearts were starved for warmth. If any decent person showed them a little kindness, they would find ways to repay it tenfold. "All right, I'll stay. We'll go home together tomorrow." Figuring no new patients would be admitted this late, Leo kicked off his shoes and lay back on the adjacent bed, scrolling through TikTok while eating his snacks. Lily lay on her side, quietly and dependently watching him, a contented smile never leaving her face. Whenever Leo's gaze flickered over to her, she would shyly look away or lower her head. Anyone could see what was in her heart from that bashful, budding expression. "You're not going back to work anymore. I'll give you my spare key tomorrow," Leo said suddenly in the quiet room. "We'll go buy some kitchen stuff, and from now on you can just cook for me and tidy up a bit. I'll still pay you a salary." The doctor had been clear about Lily's poor health. She needed to take it easy for a while. If she went back to her old routine, she'd end up with more than just exhaustion. Besides, Leo was tired of driving out to eat, and his own cooking skills were terrible. Letting Lily cook for him was the perfect solution. She could rest, and he could save time. It was a win-win. Lily looked at him, bewildered, taking a moment to process his words. "What? You don't want to?" "No, it's not that. I just don't know what I need to do, Lily answered quickly. Just cooking and cleaning? What else did you think I'd want? Leo trailed off as his eyes landed on her hospital gown, stretched taut across her chest. Lying on her side, her large, soft breasts were pressed together, one on top of the other, creating a heavy, alluring sight that made his heart race. Though Lily was introverted and sweet, she wasn't naive. She was a grown woman. Noticing his direct gaze, she subconsciously touched her chest. And in that shy, timid expression, for the first time ever, there was a flicker of pride. The burden she had always despised and resented, at this moment, had become a source of confidence. Ahem, what can you do? Leo asked, rubbing his nose. You made chicken soup for your grandmother before, so your cooking must be pretty good, right? In the dim light of the room, there was another soft click. Lily had discreetly undone a button on her gown. I can do anything, she murmured shyly. That can't mean what I think it means, right? The unexpectedly bold move made Leo's heart skip a beat. He told himself that someone with Lily's personality couldn't possibly say something so suggestive. She probably just meant she was good at all sorts of housework, like sweeping, laundry, and so on. Or maybe she just felt constricted and undid a button to breathe, given her impressive figure. Otherwise, how could this pure, unfortunate girl be so brazenly trying to seduce him? Just as Leo was trying to rationalize her actions, the system presented him with a series of incredibly eager options. 1. Lock the door, kiss her passionately, possess her, and promise to take care of her forever. 2. Lock the door, pull the privacy curtain around the bed, kiss her gently, and bravely confess your love. 3. Lock the door, take out the bra you bought, demand to help her put it on, and then shamelessly possess her. The system offering 3 such audacious choices at once confirmed it. Lily's bold move was, in fact, a deliberate showcase of her most impressive assets. Leo hadn't expected this pure, beautiful girl to have such a seductive side. The most damning part was that all 3 options helpfully reminded him to lock the door first, as if the system was certain he was about to make a move on her right here in the hospital. And he had to admit, seeing her looking so vulnerable and ready to be plucked, his heart did stir. What man wouldn't be captivated by a girl who was shy and innocent in public, but, when they were alone, revealed her most alluring side only to him? Looks like this bag is empty. You've got one more, Leo said, forcing himself to look away from the bottomless canyon and at the empty 4 bag above her head. I'll go get a nurse to change it for you. He didn't dare do anything too reckless in a hospital. While there was a certain thrill to the idea, getting caught would be mortifying. It could even end up on some sketchy website. Besides, Lily was still sick. He wasn't going to make a move on her at a time like this. Oh, Lily's slightly disappointed gaze followed him until he left the room. She then curled up under the covers, leaving only her large, shy, and frustrated eyes visible as she resentfully poked at her own chest. Does he not like them big? Lily's fever wasn't severe. After 2 bags of 4 fluids and a fever-reducing shot, her color had mostly returned. The next afternoon, she was discharged from the hospital with Leo. Once they were in the car, Lily suddenly asked, Leo, can I have the receipt for the bill? Leo waved it off. I already threw that thing out. Then how much did you spend on me yesterday? She pressed stubbornly. Tell me, so I can write it down and pay you back when I have money. Hey, don't be so meticulous about it. Didn't you just agree to help me with housework? Leo said, keeping his eyes on the road. You don't have the money to pay me back now anyway. I'll just deduct it from your salary later. But what? Leo glanced over at her. Are you afraid I'll rip you off? No, not at all. Lily quickly shook her head. It's just, isn't this too unfair to you? 1. Smugly pat the steering wheel and say, see this car? It was almost $40,000. You think I care about your little bit of money? 2. Casually unbuckle your belt and say, how about this? You don't have to pay me back. I'm feeling a little worked up right now. Can you help me out? 3. Reach out and touch her thigh and say, then you don't have to pay me back. Be my girlfriend, okay? I'll take care of you from now on. I'll be good to you. System, you're so damn shameless, Leo thought, shocked by the options. Was it really okay to take advantage of such a pure and unfortunate girl? Still, Leo's gaze drifted to Lily's long, well-proportioned legs. Even in her faded jeans, it was clear she had great legs. Her skin was naturally fair. He imagined her thighs must be a flawless pale white. And so Leo asked, his words stunning even himself, ahem, can I touch your leg? Huh. Lily jumped, her face turning crimson as she stared at him. Don't get the wrong idea. It's just, I just got this car and I'm only now really starting to drive it, Leo said, spouting utter nonsense with a straight face. You've never driven, so you wouldn't know. New drivers get really nervous. If I'm not touching something, I feel on edge. Seeing her hesitant expression, he added with a sheepish smile. If you don't want to, that's fine. I was just asking. No. Lily shook her head firmly. She looked down at her own legs in their jeans and said weakly, it's just, they're a little dirty. Dirty? Leo looked at his own hand. My hands aren't dirty. I just washed them in the bathroom. Not your hand, my pants. Lily said, embarrassed. I got something on them. They're really dirty. Leo glanced down. There were indeed some dark smudges on her jeans. After nearly falling in the elevator and being carried around by him, her clothes had certainly picked up some grime. It's okay, I don't mind, Leo said with an expectant smile. It's just to calm my nerves. If you're not okay with it, it's no big deal. It was a ridiculous excuse. As naive as Lily was, she had to know what he was really after. Sometimes, it wasn't that a man's lie was convincing, but that the woman who cared for him simply chose to believe it, even if the lie wouldn't fool a child. It was why you always heard stories online about gamblers. Everyone knew you couldn't believe a word they said, yet there were always women willing to believe they would quit, foolishly borrowing money from all over to fund their one last big win. Leo figured this absurd request would go nowhere and quickly tried to change the subject. Wow, it's really hot today, huh? Just then, out of the corner of his eye, he saw Lily slowly, hesitantly, move her legs toward him. Calm down, calm down. Inside the supermarket restroom, Leo splashed cold water on his face, trying to banish the image of Lily's heart-wrenchingly beautiful expression. Gradually, his racing heart began to slow. Once he had his composure back, he let out a sigh of relief and left the restroom. Back at the entrance, he smiled at Lily, who had been waiting patiently. All right, let's go buy some stuff for the kitchen. Okay. Lily nodded, full of anticipation, acting as if his forwardness in the car had never happened. They spent over an hour shopping, buying a cart full of kitchen utensils and fresh, nutritious ingredients. After driving back to the Evergreen Terrace and unpacking everything, Leo handed her the spare key to his apartment. From now on, you'll come over to cook lunch and dinner. If something comes up and you can't make it, just text me. Okay. Lily clutched the key excitedly, responding as if she'd just been entrusted with a sacred mission. All right, the kitchen's all yours. I have to go out again, Leo said, grabbing his wallet and keys. As he left, he added with a hopeful tone, I hope your cooking doesn't disappoint me when I get back. After Leo was gone, Lily tied on an apron, her usually timid eyes now filled with a serious determination. About half an hour later, Leo returned from the bank. The moment he opened his door, he was greeted by the rich aroma of simmering broth. The dusty dining table from the corner had been pulled out and wiped clean, now set with 3 delicious-looking home-cooked dishes. The haphazardly placed furniture had been neatly arranged. The tile floor was so clean it gleamed, still slightly damp from a recent mopping. A tall, graceful figure in an apron was in the kitchen, skillfully ladling chicken soup into a bowl. In less than 30 minutes, Lily had transformed his messy bachelor pad into a place that felt like a home, filled with warmth and life. You're back, Lily said, her face lighting up with a joyful smile, like a devoted wife welcoming her husband home. The soup is ready. We can eat now. I saw you have beer in the fridge. Should I get one for you to let chill a bit? Listening to her thoughtful words, gazing at the girl whose eyes were completely fixed on him, Leo felt a stir of emotion. Any guy would fall for a girl this gentle and devoted. Wouldn't they? Later, Leo said, pulling a thick stack of cash, $10,000, from his pocket and holding it out to her. This is for you, to tide you over. And no, you don't have to, Lily said, waving her hands and taking a panicked step back. I have $200 sewn into my jacket lining. I don't need your help. The only thing about Lily that annoyed Leo was her stubborn pride. Life was crushing her, yet she insisted on gritting her teeth and bearing it alone. Couldn't she just try accepting a little help? Don't get me wrong. I'm not just giving this to you. I don't own a bank, Leo said, having learned how to handle her over the past few days. This is $10,000. Your salary will be $2,000 a month. So consider this a 2-month advance on your next 4 paychecks. He raised an eyebrow. Or were you only planning on staying for a month? You gonna take the money and run? He shrugged dismissively. Fine. Don't come back tomorrow. I'll just find another cleaning lady. It's not like you won the job anyway. No, that's not it. Hearing he was going to replace her, Lily quickly shook her head and took the still warm stack of bills, her voice pleading. I want to. Please don't replace me. Gotcha. Leo grunted in satisfaction, then said seriously. Then for the next few months, you're my private housekeeper, on call whenever I need you. Got it. Understand, Lily nodded softly. The term private housekeeper made her blush. It sounded as if she were his personal property. Good. Now go get me a bowl of rice. Leo tossed his keys and wallet on the table, pulled out a chair, and sat down, rubbing his hands together eagerly. I barely ate all morning. I'm starving. Lily brought him a steaming bowl of rice. There's more in the rice cooker. Just text me when you're done, and I'll come over to wash the dishes. Wait, where are you going? Leo stopped her as she turned to leave. Aren't you eating? I'll eat at my place, Lily said, pointing to the apartment across the hall. The vegetables I bought yesterday are still good. I'll just go stir-fry them. TSK. You. Leo didn't know what to say. He pushed his bowl of rice toward her, went to get another for himself, and ordered, sit down. Eat with me. You don't have to. I have food at home, Lily said, shaking her head reluctantly. You've already done so much for me. I really can't spend any more of your money. For God's sake, how much does one meal cost? Leo was losing his patience. Sit down now, or you can leave the money and go back to your damn vegetables. Don't be angry. I'll eat, Lily said, sitting down across from him in a fluster. She took tiny bites of her rice, never once touching the dishes in front of her. Listen to me. I get bored eating alone. From now on, you have to stay and eat with me every time, Leo said bossily, piling food into her bowl. Otherwise, I'll dock your pay. You hear me? Okay. Lily agreed with a troubled expression. Here, you just got better. Have some chicken soup. It's good for you, Leo said, placing a bowl of soup next to her. And don't worry about the dishes tonight. I don't want you getting a chill and having your fever come back. Just go back and sleep after you eat. Rest for a couple of days. Lily stared at the steaming bowl of soup, fell silent for a moment, then put down her chopsticks, her heart a tangle of emotions. Leo, can you please not be so good to me? I'm afraid I'll never have the money to pay you back. 1. Boldly confess. Why do you think I'm being so good to you? It's because I like you, obviously. 2. Test the waters. What if I said I like you, and that I'm being this nice because I want to pursue you? What would you think? 3. Tease her. Why are you always so worried about my feelings? Do you have a crush on me or something? We're just neighbors. Why are you always so worried about my feelings? Leo put down his chopsticks, leaned across the table with his hands, propping him up, and tilted his head as he studied Lily's beautiful face. He asked with a playful grin, I have to ask, do you have a crush on me or something? Lily's body jolted. She looked up at him in disbelief, then quickly averted her flustered, shy gaze. Just kidding, Leo said. He knew Lily was interested in him. Her astonishingly high affinity score was proof enough. But her personality made it impossible for her to admit it so openly, so he figured he could let the topic drop. Come on, eat up. Leo opened TikTok and started scrolling through videos, not forgetting to continue adding food to Lily's plate. Finish up and go get some sleep. You need to get your strength back. Is it okay? Lily asked out of the blue. Is what okay? Leo blinked, confused. Lily took a deep breath, her hands clenched into fists in her lap. She lifted her head, her fair neck exposed, and met his gaze with a look that was both shy and resolute. Is it okay if I like you? In that instant, Leo's breath caught in his chest. The room fell deathly silent, the sound from his phone's speaker suddenly sharp and clear. Watch closely. This man is named Jack. He is surrounded by a dozen grunts. Having finally mustered the courage to confess, Lily lowered her head, her nervous and timid eyes stealing glances at the stunned Leo. Leo was completely blindsided. He never expected Lily to be so bold as to confess to him directly. It was so out of character for her. So now what? How was he supposed to respond to this pure, brave girl who had just laid her heart bare? 1. Don't respond directly. Kiss her passionately, let your hands roam, and when you're done, tell her you're not compatible and kick her to the curb. 2. Accept decisively. Of course it's okay. I like you too. Will you be my girlfriend? I can help you take care of your grandmother. I'll be good to you for the rest of our lives. 3. Tease her with a smile. Wow, I never thought a girl would actually like me. But we've only known each other for a few days, and I barely know you. Can we start as friends? Wow, I never thought someone like me, a total homebody, would be liked by a girl, Leo said, scratching his head and feigning shyness. Hearing this, a smile bloomed across Lily's face, her eyes filled with an incredulous joy. But we've only known each other for a few days, and I still barely know you, Leo continued with an apologetic smile, asking gently, can we maybe start as friends? At the word friends, the smile vanished from Lily's face, replaced instantly by a look of profound disappointment. But then, realizing that his words weren't an outright rejection, that there was still a chance, her sorrow eased slightly. This was the genius of the system. The option was neither a rejection nor an acceptance. It was pure stringing along. Even better, by citing their short acquaintance as the reason. It prompted Lily to take the initiative to offer what she could to deepen their relationship. To put it nicely, it was a way of building attraction. To put it bluntly, it was turning Lily into a simp. After choosing this option, Leo felt a pang of self-reproach. He couldn't understand how players, both men and women, could so casually accept the wholehearted devotion of others without giving anything back. Some even bragged to their friends about the things their admirers did for them. Didn't they have a conscience? Lily thought for a moment, then a pure, sweet, and hopeful smile returned to her face. Okay, we can start as friends. All right. Let's eat, Leo said awkwardly, quickly burying his head in his bowl and shoveling food into his mouth as if he had a personal vendetta against it. After dinner, Leo shooed away a reluctant Lily who insisted on washing the dishes. He then sat down, lit a cigarette to unwind, and thought about the hopeful smile on her face. After a moment, as if having made a decision, he stubbed out the cigarette and hurried to her door, knocking loudly. Lily quickly opened it. Seeing Leo standing there, her face lit up with delight. What are you doing here? I wanted to see your apartment. What, am I welcome? Of course, you're welcome, Lily said, shaking her head shyly and stepping aside to let him in. How could she not welcome the boy she liked? After her confession, she hadn't been able to focus on studying at all, her mind consumed with thoughts of this kind-hearted young man. Leo noticed a stack of books on the desk by the window, including an open English textbook. You were studying? Yeah, Lily nodded, her cheeks flushing. Leo's earlier words had convinced the naive girl that if she just worked hard enough, they could definitely become a couple. But while she'd been trying to study, her mind had been filled with daydreams of a happy life with him. The question made her feel embarrassed, as if he'd read her mind. You won't learn much memorizing words like this. Give me your phone. I know a really good app for vocabulary. I'll download it for you. After taking her phone, Leo fiddled with it for a moment before complaining. Your phone doesn't have enough storage to download it. How about this? I'll buy you a better one. No, you don't have to. Lily shook her head adamantly, not wanting to spend his money for no reason. It's fine. I'll put on your tab. You can pay me back when you're making money. Without hesitation, Leo ordered the latest iPhone for her. Then he fanned himself with his hand and frowned. It's too hot in here. No AC or even a fan. I have a guy for AC installation. I'll have him put one in for you. Don't shake your head. This goes on the tab. Lily's room was small and faced the sun. There was no air conditioning, only a cracked old hand fan to combat the heat. Just like that, Leo paced around her room like a home inspector, finding excuse after excuse to buy a slew of expensive things for her. Lily watched him, confused, not understanding his motive. But she was afraid of his scolding, so she didn't dare voice her questions, instead just looking at him with a mix of confusion and slight hurt. I was thinking about it just now, Leo said, taking a breath and smiling with a sense of relief. Starting as friends seems too slow. He looked at her. How about you consider this instead? I'll just be your boyfriend. If you're going to be a player, you might as well go all in. Now that things had come to this, Leo had no intention of stringing this innocent girl along like some other guys would. His recent actions were simply his way of providing Lily with as much material support as he could. Lily's enchanting eyes went wide, her pale pink lips parting slightly as if she wanted to say something but couldn't find the words. Her beautiful face was a mask of shock and disbelief, as if she had just witnessed the most impossible thing in the world. So yes or no? Say something, Leo said with a playful smile, seeing her stunned expression. Will you be my girlfriend? You. The sudden confession made Lily so flustered she started waving her hands about. Her words came out in a jumble, unable to form a coherent response. Leo couldn't help but laugh at her frantic gestures. He feigned a wounded look. Come on, is that a yes or no? Just make a sound. Fearing he might change his mind, Lily nodded her head vigorously, letting out a series of affirmative hums that were almost painfully cute. 1. Point to her chest and demand, since you're my girlfriend now, let's sleep together tonight. I want to see if those things are real or fake. 2. Asked curiously, did you put on the bra I bought you yesterday? Can I take a peek to see if it looks good? You're my girlfriend now, after all. 3. Embrace her deeply and caress her cheek. From now on, let's take care of your grandmother together, okay? Come here. Let's have a hug to celebrate, Leo said, opening his arms magnanimously. Lily hesitated for a moment, her face flushed, before stepping forward with a heart full of joy. She leaned into his embrace, her eyes, when she looked up at him, filled with a heart-melting dependency. Lily was quite tall and voluptuously built. The moment her body pressed against his, the immense softness of her chest sent a jolt through him. From now on, Let's take care of your grandmother together, okay? I'm your boyfriend now. After all, Leo said softly, lowering his head. Meanwhile, one of his hands had already begun taking care of her grandmother's namesakes. He was a man of his word. Any other girl would probably be wary of a guy who started getting handsy immediately after a confession. But Lily was just that pure. Even as Leo's right hand was practically writing a novel on her back, she continued to look at him with unwavering trust, even biting her lip to endure his teasing. Her vulnerable and enchanting appearance made Leo feel a twinge of guilt, and he sheepishly removed his still warm hand. Given her current level of trust, he could have easily taken her back to his room and had his way with her. But she was still sick, and he wasn't that classless. Some things require the right time, the right place, and the right mood. You couldn't be missing any of them. Babe, you have an amazing body, Leo whispered, the sweet nothings now coming to him effortlessly. If you weren't sick, I'd really want to get a better look. Unlike most girls who would playfully snap back with a "you're terrible," Lily's face just grew hotter, her skin burning. She lowered her head shyly, unsure where to put her hands, finally resting them awkwardly on her own chest. Can Yukio? Lily asked boldly. Of course you can. Hugs are free, Leo replied with a grand gesture. Lily slid her hands under his arms and gently wrapped them around his broad waist, a look of pure contentment and adoration on her face. How about next Saturday? After months of practice, Leo knew exactly what women were thinking. He knew what Lily was hoping for right now. Next Saturday, let's go visit your grandmother. What do you think? Lily murmured, her voice as soft as water, her eyes reflecting only him. Ding! Lily Reed's affinity for the host has increased by 10 points. Current affinity, 50. Please continue your efforts. Ding! Lily Reed's affinity for the host has reached 50 points. View her personal information. Ding! Lily Reed's affinity has reached 50. You have received a mysterious treasure chest. Open it now. Thank you, you sweet, silly girl, Leo said, hearing the system's reward notifications. He gently stroked her hair, then had a sudden thought. Want a kiss? Given her current affinity and dependence on him, Lily would probably agree to anything he suggested. But Leo loved seeing her shy side and decided that from now on, he would always ask for her permission before doing anything. Lily's whole body trembled as she frantically looked away. It wasn't a refusal, but a form of humble shyness. For a girl as pure as a blank slate, an intimate act like kissing was no less significant than what happened in the bedroom. Come on, don't be shy, Leo teased like a rogue, shamelessly leaning in for a kiss as Lily shyly tried to dodge. Finally, he wrapped an arm around her slim waist, pinning her against the wall, and their lips met. A long, soft whimper escaped her. Her eyes, half closed, shimmered with tears of joy and shyness. Like most men, Leo's hands didn't stay idle during the kiss. One held her waist while the other became a mountain climber. As it turned out, Lily's figure was truly magnificent. His hand tried several times to conquer the peak, but failed each time. The window God had opened for this unfortunate girl was vast indeed. He wasn't sure how much time had passed before he finally broke the kiss. Lily went limp as if all the air had left her, but he caught her just in time. Leo brushed her sweat-dampened hair from her face and asked tenderly, "Was that your first kiss?" It was a question he already knew the answer to. He just enjoyed hearing this innocent girl say embarrassing things. Lily answered obediently, her face a deep crimson, her eyes hazy. Mine too, Leo said shamelessly. That was my first kiss with you. A guy's first kiss is important too, you know? You can't ever let me down, okay? Okay, Lily nodded, completely believing him. Facing this man who had confessed and made a move on her in the span of an hour, she said with total reliance, Leo, you're such a good person. Thank you. The phrase, "you're such a good person," was, by all accounts, a compliment. But with the passage of time and the rapid evolution of the internet, in today's materialistic society, it had somehow become a backhanded insult. It was mostly used to describe earnest and devoted individuals who had failed in their romantic pursuits. Lily's thinking hadn't caught up with the tides of the internet. She rarely even went online. With her more traditional mindset, she had no idea that in this day and age, especially between a man and a woman, this was the one thing you weren't supposed to say. But to her, this man who had helped her time and time again was, in fact, a genuinely good person, even if he was a little lecherous and liked to bite her tongue. Leo had no intention of explaining the phrase's modern connotation to her. He liked her just the way she was, traditional and pure. Since we're like this now, let's go to my room, Leo said, planting a loud kiss on her flushed cheek. Don't worry, we'll just talk. I promise I won't do anything to you. He still didn't know much about her. Now that he had agreed to take care of her, he needed to understand the details of her family situation. It was also a bit of foreshadowing on his part. If he could get her to trust him and come back to his room this time, it would be that much easier to lure her into his room or a hotel next time. Okay, Lily agreed like a docile bird, having completely accepted him as her man. They went back to Leo's bedroom and sat side by side on the edge of his bed. True to his word, Leo didn't do anything to her. He just kept asking questions about her family and her life since coming to Portland. Except for touching her leg, of course. That was a perfectly normal thing for a couple to do. They talked from 6 in the evening late into the night. Lily was naturally candid, and since Leo was the boy she liked, she answered everything he asked. By the end of it, Leo had a fairly complete picture of her life. Besides her grandmother in the hospital who had suffered a stroke, she also had a younger sister in elementary school living with their cousin back home. Her parents had died in a car accident when she was in middle school, and the family had been getting by on the insurance settlement and government assistance. Lily also owned a condo in Portland, though it was in a very remote suburb. Her grandmother had bought it for her using the settlement money and her own life savings, and she'd put the deed in Lily's name. Her grandmother's wish was that after she was gone, the two sisters would have a place to call their own in the city. From her first day of college, Lily had been working part-time at a KFC near campus. According to her, the restaurant hadn't been doing well, but after she started working the counter, business visibly improved, and the owner had even given her a raise. Now that Lily was Leo's private housekeeper and girlfriend, he wasn't about to let her go back to work. It didn't take a genius to figure out why business had picked up. If there was a stunningly beautiful girl with an explosive figure working the front counter, Leo would happily eat KFC every day too. As for why she had moved out and rented an apartment, Lily was more hesitant, mumbling that her roommates weren't that bad and that Leo shouldn't go looking for trouble with them. Leo knew immediately that her roommates were anything but decent. He made a mental note to find an opportunity to meet these good roommates of hers. You're not allowed to work part-time anymore. You hear me? You're my private housekeeper now, and you belong only to me, Leo said, rubbing his sore hand. He had been stroking her leg so much that her jeans were starting to pill. Okay, Lily agreed obediently. No, we have to sign a contract tomorrow. What if you run away? Leo spouted a cheesy pickup line, which made Lily lower her head shyly, a clear smile of delight on her face. I won't run away. In the small bedroom, the bright light illuminated Lily's charming, blushing face, giving her an air of impeccable purity. Then give me a kiss to seal the deal, Leo said, shamelessly leaning closer. Lily kept her head down shyly, and he had to gently lift her chin to meet her lips. Babe, your lips are so soft. You smell so good. Your hands are so small, Leo whispered, praising everything about her before finally revealing his true intentions. Did you put on the bra I bought you yesterday? Does it fit okay? Can I see? Lily looked at him with surprise, then gave a barely perceptible nod and began to unbutton her blouse, one button at a time. Just as her assets were about to be fully deployed, Leo finally stopped her, gently taking her hands in his. I see it. You don't have to take it all off. She had just gotten out of the hospital yesterday. She wasn't fully recovered. Leo was genuinely worried that if she revealed everything, he wouldn't be able to control himself. After all, they had only been a couple for half a day. It's getting late. We could talk more tomorrow. You should go get some rest, Leo said, stroking her smooth cheek gently. From now on, if anything happens, you tell me. Don't carry it all by yourself. Next Saturday, we'll go see your grandmother. And an image of a lively, adorable girl flashed through his mind, and a bittersweet smile touched his lips. I might make you angry in the future. No matter what happens, I hope you can forgive me and not leave me, okay? Leo didn't know how long he could keep this up. You can't hide fire with paper. Sooner or later, his player behavior would be discovered by one of them. Giving Lily a warning shot now might leave him some room to salvage things if and when everything blew up. Lily blinked her innocent eyes, looking at his pleading smile. She hesitated for a moment, but finally gave a serious nod. Okay. Thank you, Leo said, giving her a light kiss on the lips before breaking into a relaxed smile. Go on, get some rest. If I'm not home, just text me. Okay. Lily took 2 steps, then looked back, then 2 more steps, then looked back again, as if wanting to ask something. But seeing his sincere smile, she relaxed and smiled back, pointing to the door across the hall. Then, I'm going back. It's late. You should get some rest too, okay? All right, go on. Rest well, Leo said with a nod, watching as this pure-hearted girl returned to her own room. System. Open Lily Reed's personal information. After the light in Lily's room went out, Leo opened her profile. Name, Lily Reed gender. Female age, 20 appearance, 9. 6 height, 5'7" weight, 115 lbs hobbies. Reading, doing housework for her boyfriend, being with her boyfriend. Measurements, 38-25-37 affinity for host, 50 social status, in a relationship. Current mood, happy, nervous, full of hope for the future. Current location, the Evergreen Terrace, apartment 2205. Intimate encounters, 0. Holy crap, 38. Leo was stunned by the incredible number. A figure with those proportions was something you'd usually only see on European women. He lifted his right hand and made a grasping motion, as if savoring a memory, and suddenly laughed out loud. Looks like the kids, and I will never go hungry. System, open the mysterious treasure chest. Ding. Congratulations to the host for acquiring the ability. God's Eye. Ding. Congratulations to the host for obtaining a system upgrade card. God's Eye. By gazing at a target, you can obtain detailed information about them. God's Eye usage. Gaze at the target for 3 seconds and mentally say God's Eye to activate the ability. System upgrade card. Use this card to upgrade the current system. The upgraded system will have enhanced capabilities, providing the host with more perfect options and social advice in future interactions. Ding. Does the host wish to use the system upgrade card? Ding. Does the host wish to use the ability? God's Eye. Use them all, Leo declared. A warm sensation immediately filled his eyes, and for a moment, his vision went black. A few seconds later, his sight returned, sharper and clearer than ever before. Focusing on the distant scenery, he found he could even track the trajectory of fast-moving objects. Let's see what this is all about. Leo walked around his room and picked up a half-empty bottle of soda. Item: Coca-Cola weight, 250-gram source, Prosperity Corner store ingredients, caffeine, carbonated water, phosphoric acid, sugar. Production date: December 2nd, 2022. Shelf life: 11 months. Warning: expired product. Do not consume. Shit. No wonder it tasted weird. That bastard, it's been expired for this long. Leo cursed the crooked owner of the convenience store by the apartment complex and tossed the bottle into the trash. Not only that, but he noticed the ingredient list provided by the system was completely different from the one on the bottle. Coca-Cola's secret formula had been guarded for decades. Although people online claimed it had been released, why would the company ever reveal the real recipe for such a profitable product? It was obviously a smokescreen. Looks like this ability is pretty useful. At least it can help me tell what's real and what's fake. The system's default ability only worked on people, and only after reaching 50 affinity. Gods, I could get more detailed information on anything, with no prerequisites. On a whim, Leo went to the bathroom, looked at his reflection in the mirror, and activated God's Eye. Name: Leo Shepard. Gender: male. Age: 24. Appearance: damn, almost as handsome as the incredible person reading this story right now. Height: 6'0". Weight: 172 lbs. Origin: Florida. Hobbies: web fiction, gaming, anime figures, staying at home. Fetishes: legs, older women. Current physical condition: excellent, surpasses 99.9% of men globally. Experience: 2 simulated experience, 62 blood type, 0 favorite positions. God's Eye listed dozens of personal details, each one startlingly accurate. From his physical stats to his private preferences, the ability depicted him with perfect precision. It even knew how many times he had guided himself since he was a kid, what positions he preferred, what kind of female figures he liked, and what kind of personalities he was attracted to. It was like a top-tier psychologist and an advanced medical scanner rolled into one. I'm O-type, Leo murmured thoughtfully. He seemed to remember that blood type was fairly rare. Growing up, his parents had always taken his annual physical reports before he could see them. Whenever he asked about his health, they would just brush him off impatiently. What's there to see? You're not dying. That's all that matters. No wonder my origin is listed as Florida. So the old folks have been to Florida. Wait, something feels off. He thought he had seen 2 unfamiliar names in his detailed profile, names that didn't belong to his parents. Whatever, as long as I'm not dying. Can't be that they actually found me in a dumpster, right? Leo chuckled to himself, then dismissed the long list of personal data and began to explore the upgraded system. The system had said the upgrade would provide more perfect options and social advice. He opened his laptop, downloaded a social app, and started matching with people to see what had changed. The system's abilities also worked online. Even chatting with a stranger through a screen, it could provide response options based on their profile. When he first got the system, Leo had thought about doing this. He could meet people without leaving his house and use the system to rack up affinity and farm cash. It would have been perfect. Most users on social apps were single or homebodies, looking to chat and make friends. If the chat went well, they'd move to texting. If the connection deepened, they'd meet up for dinner and a movie. And if they really hit it off, they could do other things. It was why these apps were often jokingly called disposable relationship apps. For Leo, armed with the social support system, entering this world was like a wolf entering a sheep pen. In just 10 minutes, with the system's help, he had over a dozen conversations going with women. The message icon in the corner of his screen showed 99 plus, dinging nonstop. Such was the power of words. Babe, why aren't you messaging me back? I've been waiting for so long. Hey you, why no reply? What do you think of this pic? I feel like I've lost weight recently. What do you think? No, my figure isn't as good as you say. I'm only a 36D. I swear I didn't Photoshop it. You little devil. Who are you talking to? Why did it take you so long to reply? I'm mad. Dude, why'd you ghost? Are you a top or not? Add me on Snap. We can talk more their winky face. In just 1 hour, Leo's local social app had over 500 unread messages, 90% of which were from women. Even with his fastest typing speed, he couldn't possibly chat with hundreds of people at once. As a result, these women were fanatically sending him messages and private photos, desperate to interact with him. Many of the more affluent women, hoping to get his attention or a reply, even spent serious money sending him in-app gifts. One user with the ID Island Snow went completely wild, gifting him nearly $10,000 worth of virtual items, which shot him straight to the top of the nightly gift leaderboard, shocking even some of the platform's biggest streamers. During this hour of chatting, Leo got a good handle on the upgraded system. It now crafted the perfect persona for each interaction, tailored to the other person's interests and personality. When talking to a cool, aloof woman, the system would mold Leo into a warm, approachable man, giving her a sense of familial comfort. When talking to a sweet, innocent girl, it would cast him as a rebellious, exciting wanderer, his words painting a picture of a life lived on the edge. When talking to a rich girl, the system would have him use PUA techniques, and the more he used them, the more desperate she became to talk to him. Sometimes, when Leo tried to reply on his own without the system's options, it would analyze the pros and cons of his response or teach him the optimal way to reply. In short, the system had become his personal dating coach. Most people on these apps were looking for someone who matched their personality and hobbies. When they found someone who could charm them, they would naturally open up, even sharing incredibly private things. Against a bug-like user like Leo, who was practically a romance AI, these women were utterly captivated, hounding him with messages like crazed fans. The most terrifying part was that Leo was using a brand new account with no posts and no profile picture. His avatar was just the default blue cartoon silhouette. This was the power of the upgraded system. Through the charm of text alone, it had transformed him into the Prince Charming of these women's dreams. As for the private photos and requests to meet up for a deeper connection, Leo paid them no mind. Not only were most of the photos obviously edited to the point of distortion, with only a few looking decent, but he already had 3 gorgeous women in his life. Why would he go looking for more online? He was just using them to practice his social skills and, incidentally, farm some affinity for cash. He had also encountered quite a few male users and, with the system's help, managed to raise their affinity and get some cash from them too. The absurd thing was, even after finding out he was a man, these guys, far from being deterred, seemed eager to press on. Their fervor was no less intense than the women's. Top or bottom, I'm fine with either. Seriously, couldn't the gay guys just leave him alone? Of course, Leo wasn't a passionless muck. Unlike the system's cold, calculated replies, he sometimes found himself genuinely enjoying the friendly vibe of chatting with certain users. He especially liked talking to Island Snow, the one who had gifted him $10,000. According to the system's analysis, this user seemed to have some money and a rather cool personality. Most importantly, she was also a homebody, and they shared many of the same interests. If it wasn't already almost 3 a.m., he could have probably talked to her for hours. Basement Breeze. All right, I got stuff to do tomorrow. We'll talk again when we have time. You should get some sleep too. Girls shouldn't be staying up this late all the time. Island Snow. Can I add you on Messenger? Leo was already juggling 3 women, unless absolutely necessary. He really didn't want to add another. Basement Breeze. We can just chat on the app when we have time. We're already friends on here, right? His reply was extremely evasive. He had hundreds of unread messages on the app. In a few days, he would have completely forgotten about this person. It was like meeting a great teammate in a game. You add each other as friends, promising to play again soon. But as time passes, the initial excitement fades, and the initial enthusiasm to reconnect naturally dissipates. Island Snow, you'll definitely forget about me in a few days. So please add me. I really want to get to know you. I promise I won't bother you. We can just chat when we have time. Leo hesitated for a moment. Basement Breeze, fine, add me. But I'm not online very often, just so, sarcastic emoji Island Snow. Okay, thank you. Ding. Eleanor Hayes' affinity for the host has increased by 2 points. Current affinity, 20. Please continue your efforts. Eleanor Hayes. Why does that name sound familiar? Over the course of the night, Leo had heard the system's notification countless times and seen over 100 different women's names. But the name Eleanor Hayes rang a bell, a strange sense of déjà vu. Through the screen, he couldn't use Gods to check her profile directly. After they added each other on Messenger, he curiously searched her name online. The next second, he was staring slack-jawed at the search results on the financial news websites. Hayes Group founder, Harrison Hayes, attends Bulgari Jewelry Gala with daughter, Eleanor Hayes. AS Portland's leading conglomerate, Hayes Group's dominance in high-profit sectors raises questions of monopoly. Hayes Group founder Harrison Hayes donates $1 billion to charity. Portland's richest man's daughter finally makes public appearance. And it's her. Countless sensational business headlines and photos of Eleanor Hayes filled the screen. Leo was completely floored. He had just downloaded a social app to make a little extra cash, and he'd somehow managed to hook the daughter of the richest man in Portland. Under the starlit sky, the upscale Willow Creek Estates in Portland, Oregon, the priciest neighborhood in the country, bar none. Only the ultra-wealthy called this place home. Billionaires running empires or A-list celebrities straight out of Hollywood blockbusters. In the heart of the exclusive A section stood a breathtaking standalone mansion. Its design was a masterpiece, every detail screaming refined taste and sophistication. Floor-to-ceiling windows let the pale moonlight flood in, casting a glow over the opulent interiors. The living room boasted a plush sectional sofa and a sleek coffee table, walls adorned with priceless artwork, turning the space into a private gallery. In the vast, echoing living room, a tall young woman with a dreamy smile lounged on the sofa, scrolling through a trending social discovery app, chatting casually with a guy she'd just matched with. Her every gesture carried an air of effortless privilege and laziness. Arched eyebrows like willow branches, eyes sparkling like stars, glossy black hair cascading over her shoulders like a silk waterfall. Her bare feet dangled over the sofa's edge, toes wiggling in rhythm with the soft taps on her phone screen, adding a playful charm. This was Eleanor Hayes, daughter of Portland's richest man, Harrison Hayes. She'd been studying abroad since childhood, only called back home last week by her parents. Today marked her first day in this multi-million-dollar mansion they'd custom-built for her. To Eleanor, though, it was just another gilded cage restricting her freedom. As an only child, Eleanor had been her parents' precious gem, raised in luxury from birth. With such high expectations as the heiress to a fortune, her folks drilled her in all things ladylike. Etiquette, hobbies deemed suitable for a young woman. Anything outside that bubble, strictly off limits. Their intentions were good, molding her into their ideal daughter. And it worked. She turned out polished and virtuous. But in some ways, she wasn't your typical 20-year-old. She lacked basic street smarts, the kind that could get her scammed on any corner, a total naive sweetheart. So, her parents hired top psychologists for counseling. After a month's intensive therapy, the docs delivered the verdict. Severe anxiety disorder, mental health in the tank. She needed peace and solitude to recover, or it could spiral into full-blown depression. Immediately, they loosened the reins, assigning just a few bodyguards for discreet protection. That's why Eleanor could boldly use this super private app in the living room, something she'd never dared before. Back home, she planned to just doom-scroll TikTok to unwind, but an ad for this app popped up. To outsiders, Eleanor seemed aloof, untouchable. But inside, she craved connection, shared her life story and frustrations with her parents. Overwhelmed by that urge, she downloaded it and dove in. Her first match? Leo Shepard. After just a few messages, she was hooked on their vibe, totally addicted. But Leo's replies slowed, sometimes minutes apart, frustrating her chatty nature. Growing up, friends always fawned over her, never ignoring her. His deliberate distance gave her this weird sense of betrayal. Spotting the tip feature in the chat, she splurged on the priciest gifts, spamming them until he responded. Just moments ago, she'd begged for his contact, adding him on messaging and firing off a text right away. Island Snow. Hey, you there? Eleanor sent it politely, her heart fluttering with nerves. She couldn't explain why, but she cared a lot about this stranger. Basement breeze. Holy crap. Sugar mama alert. Pervy ghost. Leo's bizarre reply left the prim Eleanor flustered. Island Snow. Why call me a sugar mama? Confused. Leo screenshot her profile pic and sent it back. This you? You're Eleanor Hayes, daughter of Portland's richest guy, right? Eleanor wasn't used to such bluntness, but with Leo, it didn't bother her. Their earlier chat on the app had been just as cheeky and direct. Island Snow. Yeah, that's me. Please don't tell anyone my identity, okay? My dad would flip if he found out. Basement breeze. Damn, a real sugar mama. Pervy ghost. Island Snow. Please don't freak out like that, sweat. Basement breeze. Whoa, sugar mama, sponsor me? Hugging sugar mama's leg. Island Snow. You need money? Fresh from abroad. Eleanor missed some local internet memes, assuming he was actually asking for cash. Even if she knew, no one dared joke like that with her. Is this girl a total airhead? Leo chuckled, testing. How much you offering? Island Snow, whatever. Basement breeze. Damn, you rich folks are too much. Angry. Eleanor panicked, not getting his anger. What's wrong? Basement breeze. What do you mean? Island Snow. Why are you mad? Geez, another Lily Reed? Leo shook his head, amused, then clarified. I was kidding. Island Snow, oh sorry. I grew up abroad and just got back recently. Still catching up on local stuff. Basement breeze. No worries, you'll get used to it. Island Snow. Okay, so do you still want money? Basement breeze. Leo figured Eleanor was faking this innocent act to lure him in. Once he bit, she dropped the mask, sneering with disdain. You really think I'm some harmless ditz? Loser. Can't blame him. After meeting Isabel Vance, his landlady often shared wild stories about her wealthy friend's antics. Steel wool pranks were tame. Some stuff blew his mind. And this was the daughter of Portland's top mogul. No wonder he was wary. After 2 hours of chatting, Leo realized she was genuinely pure. A rich girl version of Lily Reed, super polite, zero arrogance from her heir status. Her urge to share was intense. She'd spill every little detail. Girls like that were easy to charm. In those 2 hours, Leo boosted her affinity toward him to a whopping 30 points. Basement breeze. All right, almost dawn. Gotta grab breakfast. Island Snow. You're leaving? Can we chat more? I'm not sleepy yet. Basement breeze. Maybe later. Get some rest. Island Snow. Okay. What's your name? For my contacts. Basement breeze. Leo Shepherd. Etching in your little black book. Sugar mama. Teary. Island Snow. I don't have anything like that. Basement breeze. You're something else. Fine, go sleep. No more BS. Island Snow. Okay, good night, Leo. TSK, TSK. Good night from a billionaire's daughter. Screenshot this online, it'd go viral. Leo stared at the message, smirking with intrigue. Basement breeze. Sugar mama, you wouldn't want your dad knowing you spilled your identity, right? Island Snow. Leo, you promised not to tell. Basement breeze. Damn, you're no fun. Don't get the meme? Weren't you abroad? Island Snow. Does that phrase mean something special? Basement breeze. You really want to know? Island Snow. Yeah, tell me. Leo sent a link to one of his bookmark sites. Go in, search the phrase, you'll see. He grinned excitedly. Sending adult sites to a tycoon's daughter? Epic. In a mansion, Eleanor copied the link, pasting it into her browser eagerly. The explicit content exploded on screen, shattering her innocent worldview. She'd studied biology, knew the basics of sex. But these acts? Way beyond normal. Her first time on such a site, she felt no shame, just mind-blown curiosity. Watching in the open living room felt weird, so she clutched her phone, blushing, and dashed up the spiral stairs to her bedroom for deeper research. After chatting late with Eleanor, Leo slept till 4 p.m. Months ago, his routine was boot up the computer, order takeout, game, eat, then brush teeth, and write. Now his shut-in life had flipped. Waking up, he grabbed his phone from the pillow, checking messages from his girls. Chloe, Leo Pig, no family stuff this Sunday, come hang, no excuses. Isabel, Leo up yet? There's a new steakhouse downtown with great reviews. After picking up Maddie from preschool, wanna go? Lily, you awake? Knocked earlier, no answer. If you're up, can I tag along grocery shopping after class? If it's a hassle, forget it. Island Snow, Leo got more sights? To Leo, Chloe was his real girlfriend, sweet, bubbly, outgoing, his first love. Isabel was gentle, homemaker vibes, and Maddie adorable. Picking them up sometimes gave him dad vibes, but he didn't mind his first woman. Isabel had that mature, divorced mom allure, an actual plus. Lily? Their bond was shallow. If anything, he saw her as a clumsy, curvy little sister. As for the billionaire's daughter he added last night, Eleanor. What was with her message? What did she do with that site? These months under the system's grind had given Leo a steady nerve for crises. He calmly got up, phone in hand, heading to the bathroom to brush and wash, planning his day. Thursday, 5:40 p.m. Chloe's invite was Sunday later. Evening video call with her would do. Maddie's preschool let out at 5:30, PSU at 6. Lily's bus ride home took 20 minutes. He could politely skip picking up Maddie with Isabel, but join for steak. That left time to shop with Lily, the tycoon's daughter. He fired off 7 or 8 more adult sites and ignored her. Plan set, he finished washing and messaged Chloe. Offline mode. Cool, you free Sunday? Pervy ghost. Chloe, if you dare come meet my dad Saturday, then yeah. Bonk. Chloe, born '04, college girl always online, knew those dirty jokes. Their relationship was hot and heavy. Like most in honeymoon phase, she was open to intimacy. But her Sunder side knew not to make it too easy. She dangled it, waiting for the right moment and his sincerity. Offline mode, deal. Saturday, I'll pick you up, we go to your folks. Leo was joking dirty, but her response? Golden opportunity, why pass? Free perks? Idiot not to take. Chloe, for real? Not scared. Dad's tough, and I haven't told him about us. What scare? For you. I'd take a beating from your dad. Offline mode. Plus, you not telling is perfect. I'll convince them myself. No shame. In class, Chloe hid her phone in her textbook, glancing at the balding prof, her lips curving into a sweet, anticipatory smile. She'd been with Leo long enough to know his sweet talk. But it thrilled her. He was manning up to tell her parents. Full commitment. After brainstorming, she bit her lip, resolute. Fine, Saturday, come get me, we'll go together. After replying, she opened Don Miller's chat. Dad, you. And Mom home Saturday? Bringing my boyfriend. Isabel, got something later, can't pick up Maddie with you. To Isabel, but stakes on. Send the spot, I'll book. She replied quick. No need, handled it. Owner's a friend, just show up. Offline mode. Cool address? Done around 8, drive over. After the address, she probed. Leo, after dinner, you free? Blush. From that emoji, Leo knew her thoughts. Smirking. Computer busted again? Pervy ghost. Once at her place, she'd used that excuse to lure him to bed. Maddie interrupted, or he'd have sealed it then. Isabel fired back bonk emojis, annoyed. Leo pictured her flushed embarrassment. Offline mode. Isabel, wait for me. Rose. Isabel, yeah, light rain this morning. New car, drive safe. Waiting. Smile. Isabel done. He messaged Lily. Out of class. Half-hour wait. He headed downstairs to the complex gate. Lily stepped off the crowded bus, old satchel on, anxious face as she typed. His phone buzzed. Sorry, was on bus. Just got off, he's still on. Offline mode. Look ahead. Lily glanced up, spotting Leo at the gate with a smug brow raise. Her face lit up. She hurried over, pace quickening to a trot. Her simple braid bounced playfully. Hey, what? Leo moved for a hug, but she dodged instinctively, head down, mumbling, people around. Fine, say no hug. Excuses much. Leo feigned disdain, walking ahead. Lily caught up, grabbing his hand softly. Hug's fine, hug's fine. Don't be mad. Leo grinned, arm around her waist, pulling the shy girl close, planting a firm kiss on her smooth cheek. Stop caring about stairs. Live your life. Who cares? Got it. Yeah, got it. Lily nodded firmly, her eyes full of reliance on this bold guy. Leo waited in the Mercedes 10 to 20 minutes before Lily emerged from the complex, swapped into a brown floral maxi dress. She looked like a country belle, rustic yet pretty, exuding shy purity from head to toe, almost needing a flower behind her ear. First time seeing you in a skirt. As she buckled in, Leo adjusted her hem, smiling approvingly. Looks great, really pretty. Thanks. Lily blushed. Thanks what? Leo chuckled, pinching her soft cheek. I'm your boyfriend. No thanks needed. No more, hear me? Okay, got it. Lily nodded sheepishly, then eyed the passing outdoor market. Aren't we grocery shopping? Where to? Lily usually shopped the nearby farmer's market. Close, cheap, fresh from locals. Not the market, supermarket. Leo handled the wheels smoothly. After, grab you some clothes. On tab again. Lily lowered her head, conflicted. She had no clue her debt to him. Fresh relationship. But she hated spending his money like it was owed. Don't overthink. I'm not a bank. Every dime's from your dowry deduction. Leo sensed her worry, dropping corny lines effortlessly. We'll say $40,000 dowry. Spent about $4,000 so far, so $36,000 left. Dowry mention made Lily's heart race. She gripped the seatbelt, shyly averting. I'm not worth that much. Hey, too bad. Locked at $40,000, no hikes. Leo declared bossily. Once spent, you're mine. Objections? Lily shook her head bashfully, then pondered. What about my side? The bride price? No cash now, not even $4,000, let alone $40,000. Whoa, seriously? Leo teased to pivot. We just met. Marriage already? Too fast. Lily realized her eagerness, flushing, turning to the window, exposing her pale neck. The fun vibe turned awkward, AC humming loudly. Sun's brutal. Leo glanced at her shyness, sighing subtly, donning shades casually. Under them, his eyes held resignation. He reminded himself, avoid that topic with Lily and others. To buy Lily clothes, he drove to a distant big box store, the mall after. Rush hour packed the store. Some uniformed students shopped. Lily hated crowds, eyeing Leo's hand hesitantly, too shy to grab. Oddly, the chaotic farmer's market didn't faze her. She'd haggle boldly. But this fancy spot? She felt out of place, fearing she'd bother folks. Here, hold. Leo offered his hand, brow raised. Crowded, don't wander off, or I'll page you. No way. Lily pouted Sundara style, but happily took it. Leo disliked the grip, felt like babysitting. He interlaced fingers, kissing her pale hand back. What for dinner? Such intimacy in public mortified Lily, face burning. Anything, your call. She didn't know. It's 2025, society shrugged a PDA. Passers-by might glance curiously, rate the couple mentally. Spotting Lily's pure shyness, folks envied. Her killer figure drew guys' jealous glares at Leo. Let's browse. No plan, Leo led her through aisles. Evening brought young couples stocking up. Unlike timid Lily, those girls clung boldly to boyfriend's arms, carefree. Want some? Leo grabbed an apple to suggest, when soft warmth hit his arm. Turning, Lily hugged his arm tentatively, her assets pressing in. What's up? Leo coaxed gently. Not scared of crowds now. Lily paused, blushing. Is this okay? Of course, hug away free. Leo encouraged. He wanted her acting like a normal girlfriend, clingy, spoiled. Too distant wasn't right. Lily smiled happily, clutching his arm tight like treasure. Apples? Get some. Leo dangled a red one. Lily, adjusting to closeness, nodded cutely without words. Cart loaded, they left the store, hit the adjacent mall for Lily's clothes. After browsing, Leo led her to a quiet brand boutique. A salesgirl approached to pitch, but the female owner shooed her, serving personally. Years in materialistic Portland, she'd seen sugar daddies with co-eds, rich ladies with boy toys. Guy sharp-dressed, girl plain, sketchy dynamic. She nailed it. Leo bought Lily 7 or 8 outfits, dropping nearly $7,000. Owner beamed. Chatting, she got why he doted. That pitifully cute face, insane curves. Even she, worldly boss, was dazzled. Spending big today? Leo shrugged. Plenty in the bank. Short. Hit the app again. Lily hated him spending. This outing cost $14,000-ish. Not gold-digging talk. In today's world, luxury tempted all. But on Lily? Zero affinity gain. She fretted throughout. Can't help it. With pure, family-focused girls like her, millions meant less than quality chat. Big purchase scored a discount. Owner offered free delivery. Back home, Lily tied on an apron, eyes fixed on Leo eagerly. Leo, what you want? I'll cook. Those pricey outfits? She preferred making him dinner. Me? Leo checked time. 7:40 p.m. 20 minutes to Isabel's Steakhouse. 20-minute drive. Eating Lily's meal? Late for sure. I might. HM? What? Lily assumed, menu pondering, watching patiently, face beaming expectantly. Fried rice. Leo couldn't disappoint. Leftover rice from yesterday. Whip up some egg fried rice. Okay. Lily nodded determinedly, grabbing 3 eggs, bustling in kitchen. Leo texted Isabel quick. Offline mode. Isabel, rush hour traffic's bad. Might be late. Isabel, no rush, drive safe. Waiting. Phone away. Leo considered helping, but the tiny kitchen? He'd crowd her. He tapped the table impatiently, then paced the living room. Egg fried rice was simple, Lily's skill solid. Minutes later, she served a steaming bowl, topped with green onions. Leo devoured. Lily watched contentedly but worried. Careful, hot. Fine, starving. Mouth full. You not eating? That's all. More in pot. You first. Lily shook her head casually, gazing quietly. Leo knew. She feared him not full, planning to eat leftovers after. He slowed, heart aching for this girl whose world revolved around him. Full, he finished, forcing a burp. Solid, Chef Lily, great fried rice. Praise pleased her, but she checked. Pot's got more, what? Nah. Leo waved, grabbing wallet. Eat the rest. Gotta go. Okay. After he left, Lily cleared his bowl, washed, stored. Washing done, Leo snuck back, forgot keys. Quietly, he saw her neatly stocking fridge with their buys. Done. She scrubbed stove grime with steel wool. Hot, stuffy kitchen, sweat beaded soon. Stubborn spots? She bent, scraping with nails. Lily's world was small, content. She adored this guy in her heart, wanted to handle all home stuff like a dutiful wife. Leo watched from doorway. A chore even made skipped, yet she enjoyed, forehead glistening. He approached softly, hugging her waist from behind, pulling her curves close. You back? Lily startled, then smiled happily. Why not eating? Leo eyed the warm pot rice. Call a pro for this grime. Almost done. Lily shook head. Pro costs money. Sigh, you're such a dope. Leo resigned, regretting messing with this stubborn girl. Leo held Lily's tall, curvaceous body quietly, nuzzling her flushed, pink earlobe. They lingered in the kitchen warmth. Lily loved it, smiling blissfully. She reached for his hand but stopped, hers oily black. Aren't you busy? Not wanting to delay. She broke the moment. Might be late? Yeah, time to go. Leo released reluctantly, grabbing her sticky hands, chuckling wryly. Stop, listen, wash up, eat. I'll hire someone someday. Okay. Lily complied, squirting dish soap, face still joyful. Grinning what? Leo tilted head oddly at the goofy girl. Lily denied. Nothing. Leo teased. Nothing? Grin ear to ear. Lily blushed silent. Words failed her happy contentment. She turned, scrubbing grimy hands, offering Leo a tall profile. Her height in a floral dress gave homemaker vibes, washing like a young wife. Upward, a blooming, shy-teen face. Figure-wise? Unbeatable. Bent washing, her flexible curves shone, assets swaying with motions. Epic sight. Watching, Leo's regret vanished. Such beauty, killer body, why not pursue? Let some other dude ruin her. Ow! Leo smacked her pert, but playfully, grabbing keys and wallet. Eat. Rest early here? Lily rubbed the spot, humming cutely. Door shut, she massaged the sting like a pampered wife, pouting playfully. Humph, jerk. Driving to steakhouse, sudden downpour. Isabel texted. Rainy, drive slow. Rain intensified, no traffic jam. 8:20 p.m., he arrived. Suited hostess greeted. Sir, reservation? Yes, table A1. Leo gave Isabel's info. Hostess perked. Mr. Shepherd? Follow me. Leo trailed her. Staff eyed him curiously. Cashier owner signaled hostess back, leading him herself to a VIP booth, lifting red curtain elegantly. Isabel and Maddie waited quietly. The steakhouse oozed romance and class. Soft-lit booth, candle flicker, adding mystery. Rose petals on table symbolized passion. Coffee aroma relaxed the air. In booth, Isabel wore gold-rimmed glasses, tapping laptop lightly. White-fitted long-sleeve top exposed collarbones, her firm assets contrasting slim waist. Shapely legs and soft white lounge pants radiated mature allure. Yoga kept her 36-year-old figure toned, better than many 20-somethings, no age sag. Dressed up on streets? No one guessed single mom of a 6-year-old. Maddie, shoeless, cuddle mom, giggling at phone cartoons. Usually homemaker Isabel now exuded successful woman charm. Leo saw no oddity. 2025, internet era, not old times. With $2 billion complexes, she wasn't just a landlady. Isabel, your friend's here. Owner nudged. Focused Isabel snapped back, stern face melting to warm. Leo, you're here? Sorry, Isabel, traffic jam, plus rain. Left at 7:30, stuck till now. No biggie. Isabel closed laptop, removed glasses, smiling gently. Sit. Leo bro. Maddie noticed, barefoot on sofa, arms out for hug. Hey, who's cutie? Leo scooped the hefty kid, pinching cheek. Heavier. Sneaking cake behind mom. Nah. Kid wriggled giggling, dodging his hand. Isabel smiled at them, telling owner. Serve. Yes. Owner smiled knowingly, lowering curtain. Thinking. Kids these days, no ambition. Servers brought elegant Western dishes. Tasty enough, but ambience sold it. Most patrons chased romance, not just food. Between Leo and Isabel, less youthful spark, more adult coziness. Their knowing flirtation, plus Maddie's random kid questions, felt like family harmony. Isabel cherished this, her daughter above love or self. Why burn her otherwise? Sipping wine, she smiled. Leo enjoying? 1. Flatter obsequiously. Amazing, best steak ever, no contest. Isabel, next time too. 2. Tease lightly, decent, but I prefer Chinese over Western. Ambience is romantic. 3. Complain, gross, bloody steak. Why not chase the cow and bite? Decent, but I prefer Chinese, especially Cantonese. Leo cut steak. Eyeing romantic setup, smirking. Ambience is romantic though. Nice touch, Isabel. Leo now blended system options with vibe tweaks. Table roses, soft lights, gentle tunes. All Isabel's doing. No way. Isabel felt seen, smiling shyly. Their eyes locked flirtatiously. She looked away first, blush deepening under lights, charmingly coy. Kid puzzled at silence, glancing between. Mom, full. Her voice snapped Isabel back. Then I'll call Ms. Lee to pick you. Isabel, ruffled hair. Mom and Leo have stuff tonight. Sleep at Ms. Lee's okay. No, thunder outside, scary. Maddie shook head, clinging. Sleep with Mom and Leo, bro. Huh? Leo. Mom can't sleep with Leo. Isabel faltered, unsure how to explain. Why? Mom likes Leo, bro. Why not sleep together? Kid blinked innocently. Maddie's scared of thunder. Mom protects Maddie. Mom's scared too, so Leo protects Mom. Kid nodded smugly, adult-like. Isabel thought she'd hidden feelings well. But Kid spot adult vibes. Plus, she gushed about Leo. Maddie knew Mom liked him, innocently matchmaking. Ha ha, sure. Leo ruffled Kid's hair, tapping nose. Thunder nights call Leo to join Mom. Yay. Kid nodded eagerly, eyes starry. She liked this tall bro. Isabel getting late. Leo wiped sauce, standing. Head back. Maddie is preschool tomorrow. Yeah. Isabel sighed resignedly. Coax Kid asleep first, then adult time. 10 p.m.-ish, Leo drove them home to Isabel's place. After baths, Isabel bedtime storied Maddie in bedroom. Outside, thunder rare, but rain poured like a waterfall, flooding the city. Leo lounged on sofa, flipping boring TV, rain pattering windows, waiting for Kid to sleep. Feels like married life. Leo chuckled suddenly. Midnight storm, at another woman's, waiting to play adult games after Kid's down. Unimaginable before. 40-plus minutes later, Isabel carried snoring Maddie out, tucking her in next room, then tiptoed to living room. Asleep, Leo took her soft hand, pulling her beside, arm around waist habitually. That kid, tonight's energy. Isabel griped, then nestled, listening to rain. Leo, days like this are perfect, she murmured contentedly. Maddie's here, you're here, if only forever. Leo stayed silent, stroking her hair tenderly. Women love pampering, any age. After quiet cuddling, his hand wandered up from waist. He leaned, kissing her lips deeply. Sunny morning after rain. Warm rays pierced clouds, caressing earth. Leo woke to Isabel's sleepy mumbles. Opening eyes, her exquisite mature face, smiling fulfilled. Then, nightstand alarm blared. Isabel frowned, nuzzling his chest lazily, opening tired red eyes, gazing dependently. When do you wake? Just. Leo silenced alarm, snuggling back under covers, hugging her warm curves. Still early, nap more. Isabel's figure felt perfect, solid, satisfying hold. Hey, you kid? Isabel stroked his face like a big sis, chuckling. Like Maddie. Click. Door creaked, both tensed reflexively. Leo peeked. Maddie in cartoon PJs, sleepy. Mom, Leo bro. Kid yawned, ignoring why in next room or them together. Greeted lazily, climbed bed, burrowed between, snoring soon. They exchanged smiles. Leo ruffled Kid. Isabel, we do look like family of 3. Want a stepdad? Isabel fixed Kid's hair, testing jokingly. Guys hate raising others' kids, right? 1, depends who. Isabel, you're gorgeous. I get cute daughter free? Win-win. 2, let's marry now. I'll care for you too. Even take Maddie's last name. 3, depends who's dad. Maddie's cute, gonna be hotter than you, not bio. Profit, depends who. Leo caressed cheek, half joking tenderly. Isabel, you're gorgeous. I get cute daughter free? Win-win. Option sucked. 1 was least bad. Their bond made it not simpy. Isabel joked. He joked back. Fit vibe, slyly praising both. Smart Isabel knew it was sweet talk to please. But it worked. She beamed. Risk? If serious, she'd probe. You mean it? Tough spot. Her eyes fixed on him, seeming poised to speak seriously. Leo swallowed. Isabel going real? Want me as stepdad? No shame. Isabel rolled eyes maturely, but smiled satisfied. As predicted. Met you thought honest college kid. Isabel mused, self-mocking. Turns out slicker than guys I've known. Early on, Isabel pegged him naive student. His talk sharper than bosses. No, ordinary kid. Real talk. Like memes, lively husky over loyal golden retriever. Many pick interactive husky despite chaos. Bad boy theory. Girls know risks, but fall for charm anyway. Isabel knew Leo was trouble. Yet she chose him, loving his flirty words. To now, she puzzled his change. Veteran in business, she turned down slick bosses, scheming boys. Thought herself discerning. Initially, shy student renter. Who'd guess? Now betting the shy guy, and she pursued. If misjudged, he hid well. Little punk, no seriousness. Isabel poked his forehead with slim finger. Only with you, Isabel. Leo lied. With other girls, I clam up. You're right, believe that? Isabel eyed him oddly. Anyway, almost 7, gotta drop Maddie at preschool. Isabel half sat, bearing smooth upper body, dressing unfazed by his stare. They'd gone deep. He'd explored hands-on. No shyness left. She felt proud captivating a young guy. TSK, Isabel, you lying about age? Leo ogled flawless skin. 36? Say 20, I'd buy. Slick. No shame, dressing up. Isabel avoided slick now, glancing dismissively, lips curving, secretly thrilled. Dress, she nudged kid. Maddie up, brush, wash. Preschool late. Mom, no school. Want to stay with Leo, bro. No, Leo's busy. Up or but smack. Woken, Maddie hugged Leo's arm, eyes fluttering. Leo, bro, be my dad. Stunned Leo. Isabel chuckled. Maddie, what? Leo's young, can't be dad. Said half-heartedly, sneaking his reaction. But classmates have dads, not me. Maddie whined. Parent activities, others with dads, me none. Kids matured fast now. No dad young. Maddie was sensible. New mom rich, wary of bad guys, so never push for new dad. Since Leo moved in, gloomy Isabel smiled, chatting him up to Maddie. Kid since mom's like, thought simple. Good to us. Plus liking Leo, she hoped he'd dad. But kids miss, depends on him. Maddie straddled Leo seriously. Leo bro, mom's loaded, tons cars, buildings. Be dad, all yours. And uncle/auntie say mom's pretty like star. You won't lose, right mom? Kid turned smugly. Isabel smiled awkward, not responding, but watching Leo, wanted his view on them. 1. Let's wed now. You can have more. I love Maddie. Make sibs soon. 2. You're too old. I like young chicks. Stay Leo bro. 3. Whoa. Maddie, say that earlier? Not Leo bro. Call dad, try me. Leo pinched cheek, skipping options. Sure can. Really? Kid glowed. Leo bro, you'll be dad? Yeah, I like your mom lots. Leo grinned. And you? Happy to. Yay, dad. Kid bounced. Now call you dad? Leo nodded. Go for it. He dad. AI, just dad. Drop Leo. Then dad. Good girl. Listen, brush, wash. Mom drops you preschool. Yup. Kid scampered off. Fuzzy slippers clack in a bathroom. Kid gone. Room quiet. Leo dressed casually. Leo. Isabel snapped back, excited. Breakfast? Us 3. 3 emphasized meaningfully. Leo buckled jeans calmly. Isabel busy. Can't stay. Oh yeah, late anyway. Isabel forced smile. Stay kid clean, skip school. Go on. Leo silent, dressing. Isabel sat bed, face neutral. Dressed, she stayed, watching, lips pursed. Hey, Isabel. Leo dressed, eyeing downcast her intriguingly. You can still have kids, right? Words perked, low, Isabel. Shy to say outright. She hinted, what you think? 36, not ancient, and Maddie and I get full checkups yearly. Good. Leo nodded satisfied, approaching, kissing her lips firmly. Parting, he stroked cheek. All right, if nothing. Heading out. Call if needed. Leo gone, bed-bound, Isabel dazed. His mixed signals confused. Agree or reject. Leo, she called, rushing out, spotting him chewing. Stay. Eat. Said busy, another day. Call, Isabel. He shut door, left. Another day mean what? Isabel muttered confused. Maddie toothbrush chased. Dad where? Left. Isabel plopped sofa, grumbling. Punk, stringing me along. Braiding Maddie's hair for preschool. Mom, we got houses. Maddie in lap, swinging feet. Leo agreed, Dad. Why not live together? Isabel sighed. If willing, he wouldn't bolt. But asking if she could bear kids. Why? Isabel froze, then warned. Maddie, no calling Leo dad outside here. Why? He agreed. Kid spun, defiant. Mom not like him? Isabel stumped, complex mood, snapped adult classic. No wise, adult stuff, kids stay out. First scold, Maddie pouted disappointed, eyes reddening teary. Sigh. Mom means no, Dad calling outside. Isabel consoled, finishing braid. But us three? Call him Dad. Really? Yes. Isabel kissed daughter, epiphany striking, face dawning. Finally got his meaning. He skipped title, but wanted family life, even her bearing his kid. Total player move, but Isabel shrugged. No remarriage plans, just quiet with daughter. If Leo, Maddie liked him, she'd wed again. Reality. Age gap huge, plus 6-year-old. She and Leo no future. She'd agreed. He accompanies, she stays out his life. Plus, she'd encouraged chasing naive Lily Reed. No judging his playerness. Their bond absurd anyway. After all, what tenant beds the landlady? Punk, I was blind. Isabel cursed inwardly, eyes expectant, probing. Maddie, wants sibling for mom? Home by 6 p.m. plus. Leo prepped shower when Chloe video called. Answered. Her weary face, hoarse sob. Leo. What? Leo startled. Happened. Chloe teary, stuttering, incoherent. Leo, Chloe's dad nixed you dating. They fought big. Roomy Maya grabbed phone. Helpless, he said, bring you home? Breaks your legs. Leo. Mom's reaction? Chloe's dad. Temper expected, daughter doting ex-con. Gas probably. Leo'd feel same with daughter college dating. Mom says tomorrow okay. Bring you see. Chloe snatched phone, sniffling. But dad won't agree. Hey mom, yes? I'll go. Stop crying. Eyes swollen. Leo coaxed till calm. About to speak, she hung, redial busy. Guest, parents calling. Sure enough. Long wait, she recalled. Roomy's relieved. Maya first. Leo, lucky you. Chloe fought dad for you. Deleted his contacts. Dad used mom's account apologizing. Agrees you tomorrow. Don't betray my girl. Chloe smiled through tears, sunder of back, eager. Leo pig, noon tomorrow. Pick me at school. On Saturday morning, Leo Shepherd was up early. While brushing his teeth, he mapped out his day. First, take Lily Reed to OHSU hospital to see her grandmother. Then, grab lunch with her before driving over to PSU to pick up Chloe Miller for a visit with her parents. If all went well, he might even get a home-cooked dinner at Chloe's house. Just as he finished washing up, there was a knock on his door. He opened it. And who else could it be but the sweet girl from across the hall? Are you hungry? I bought some pastries and coffee, and some hard-boiled eggs. Lily held up a bag, the warmth of the coffee seeping through, her voice a mix of nerves and hopeful anticipation. Do you want some? You already bought it. How could I say no? You're ridiculous. Get in here. Leo laughed, a touch of exasperation in his voice, and took her hand, leading her into the apartment. Lily carefully laid out the pastries, a container of coffee, and the eggs on his small table. You can eat now. Leo sat down next to her, phone in hand. You've eaten already, right? MHM. Good. Leo didn't hold back, digging in while scrolling through TikTok, his eyes glued to the screen. You look really nice today, by the way, he said, genuinely impressed, noticing her different style. She was meeting him to visit her grandmother at the hospital, so she had deliberately worn the light blue sundress she'd bought at the mall a few days ago, paired with a brand new, pristine pair of white sneakers. Leo's compliment brought a happy, slightly shy smile to her face, and she quickly looked away. Her bashful charm was like a cool morning breeze on a hot summer day, bringing Leo a sense of comfortable relief. The only thing he wasn't a fan of was her hairstyle. Her dark, silky hair would have been beautiful flowing freely, but the earnest girl had pulled it back into a severe, tight bun. It gave her a slightly plain, almost provincial look. It was probably a habit she'd had since she was a kid, so Leo didn't say anything and went back to devouring his breakfast. Lily just sat beside him, watching quietly. When he finished, she silently gathered the empty wrappers and bags. She even bent down to pick up a piece of eggshell that had fallen on the floor, pinching it between her fingers and adding it to the trash, planning to take it all with her when she left. She seemed to find joy in these small, insignificant acts, a contented smile never leaving her face. You know, Leo said through a mouthful of pastry, his voice muffled, maybe you shouldn't be my girlfriend. He was teasing. How about you be my mom instead? I feel like you take better care of me than she does. Lily didn't know how to respond to that kind of playfully intimate joke. Blushing, she just stuck a straw in a coffee cup and pushed it gently toward him. Drink some coffee. Don't choke. Okay, Mom. Leo grinned, flashing his white teeth. Thanks for the coffee, Mom. Lily's face turned an even deeper shade of red. She shot him a quiet, playful glare, a look of cute exasperation like that of a young wife. After we see my grandma, Lily began, nervously fidgeting with the hem of her dress. Do you want to go to Cathedral Point this afternoon? Hi. I heard someone yesterday say that Cathedral Point is really beautiful. Her voice grew fainter. Want to go check it out this afternoon? If you're busy, then never mind. I can't this afternoon or tomorrow. After we see your grandma. I have to go somewhere else, Leo said after a sip of coffee. How about next Sunday? If you're free next Sunday, my whole day is yours. How does that sound? Leo's 1-2 punch first left Lily disappointed that her bold invitation had been rejected, but then elated at the prospect of spending a whole day with him next week. The thrill of getting something back after thinking it was lost was no less potent than the feeling of finally winning over the girl you'd been chasing for ages. MHM. As expected, she nodded vigorously, the impressive curves beneath her sundress bouncing twice. The sight made Leo bite down on his straw a little harder. This girl had no idea just how ridiculously captivating she was. After breakfast, Leo drove Lily to OHSU Hospital, stopping on the way to buy a cart full of gifts and snacks. Once there, Lily led him to a room where he met her grandmother. A stroke could be a minor setback or a major catastrophe. It all depended on the person's underlying health, and the range of outcomes was vast. Years of hard labor had taken their toll, leaving her grandmother frail, lying weak and exhausted in the hospital bed. Only the arrival of her granddaughter brought a kind, loving smile to the old woman's face. She spoke in the familiar, gentle accent of her hometown, catching up with the girl she hadn't seen in so long. When they had talked for a while, her grandmother's curious gaze fell upon Leo. She had a good idea of the relationship between this young man and her granddaughter, but since they hadn't said anything, she waited for an introduction. Lily glanced at Leo, her face flushed, and gave a shy little nod. It was his cue. "Grandma, how's your recovery going?" Leo stepped forward. "Good, it's good," the old woman said warmly, her English slightly broken but clear. She asked a few simple, homey questions like when they had met. Leo answered every question smoothly. He sat by the bed, holding Lily's hand, and reassured the grandmother that she just needed to focus on getting better. He also promised that he would always take good care of Lily. After they had talked for a bit, Lily helped her grandmother out of bed to do some physical therapy exercises. Though she had been slowly improving, one side of her body was still partially paralyzed. This could be helped with assisted therapy, but with school and work, Lily had only been able to come by in the evenings. Hiring a private nurse was another expense the hard-pressed girl simply couldn't afford. While Lily was helping her grandmother, Leo quietly slipped out of the room. He found the attending physician and the head nurse. He not only settled all of Lily's outstanding hospital bills, but also paid to hire a professional physical therapist to work with her grandmother daily. He even gave the primary nurse a generous tip, asking her to make sure the old woman got nutritious meals every day. Money, he had to admit, really was a universal problem solver. After taking care of everything, Leo returned to the room, said his goodbyes, and then drove toward Portland State University. About half an hour later, as he was pulling up to the campus, a text came in from Lily. It was just 5 short words. "Lasting peace. Leo, thank you for everything. Offline mode. I'm your boyfriend. If you thank me again, I'll smack you." Looks like the therapist and everything is all set, Leo thought. There was no need for him to handle it personally. He had no experience caring for the elderly anyway. All it took was money to hire the right professionals. If he had met Lily before, knowing her family situation, he wouldn't have dared to get involved, no matter how beautiful she was. A situation like hers, if mishandled, could become a tragedy for both families. Money, he mused again, was the ultimate cure for life's toughest complications. After texting with Lily for a minute, a message came in from Chloe asking where he was. Leo snapped a picture of the campus entrance and sent it to her. A cartoon panda giving an OK sign popped up in reply. A phone full of reaction memes. Leo chuckled, tossing his phone onto the passenger seat. He stretched leisurely, taking in the sight of his old alma mater. Leo's high school grades hadn't been great, but thanks to a heroic effort in his last semester, he had just barely scraped by with a score high enough to get into PSU. Once in college, the relaxed lifestyle, the weird roommates, the freshman girls with their sweet voices, and the seniors with their long legs had completely extinguished the fire that had driven him in high school. Soon after, he'd gotten obsessed with progression fantasy novels. His grades started to slide, his social life dwindled, and he became more and more of a shut-in. His perfect vision deteriorated to the point where he needed thick glasses, and his academic performance got worse every year. It wasn't an exaggeration to say that, all this time after graduation, he'd forgotten everything he'd learned in school. It was all useless knowledge for a guy who spent his days cooped up at home. Looking back, he couldn't even say what he'd accomplished in college. He hadn't landed a single date with any of the upper or underclassmen, and instead just picked up a collection of nerdy habits. But then, fate had chosen him and blessed him with a social support system. The cute underclassmen he used to dream about were now his reality, and not just any girls, but two stunningly beautiful, drop-dead, gorgeous campus queens. Wait a second, isn't Lily also a student at PSU? A chill ran down his spine. He grabbed his phone and stared at the two names side by side in his contacts, Elf Princess and Lasting Peace. A sharp intake of breath hissed through his teeth. Both girls were students at PSU, and both were freshmen who had just started this year. Chloe was in the business school. He'd asked Lily before, and she was pre-med. They were in different apartments and didn't know each other, but PSU wasn't that big. If he came to pick one of them up for a date and the other happened to see him, the consequences were unthinkable. Just then, an elegant figure emerged from the campus gates. It was the elf princess he'd been waiting for, Chloe. When Chloe saw his car, a brilliant, sweet smile lit up her face. She waved and jogged over. Panicked, Leo snatched the phone from the passenger seat, frantically deleted his entire chat history with Lily, and, with lightning-fast reflexes, snapped a picture of Chloe as she approached. Hey! Chloe opened the door with a playful flourish and plopped into the passenger seat. As she buckled her seatbelt, she blinked at him. You look like you were in a hurry just now. What were you doing with your phone? It's been too long. I had to get a picture of you, Leo said with a calm smile, boldly handing her the phone. What do you think of my photography skills? I was thinking of making it my lock screen. EW, you made me look awful, Chloe complained, wrinkling her brow. She took his phone, opened the camera app, and snapped a perfect selfie, which she promptly set as his new lock screen. Chloe's own lock screen wasn't a picture of Leo, but a photo of their hands intertwined, taken on their first date down by the waterfront. To her, that kind of picture, a public declaration of their relationship, was far more meaningful. After setting the wallpaper, Chloe started casually playing with his phone. A cold sweat broke out on Leo's back, his heart pounding in his throat. He deleted his chat with Lily, but his conversation with his landlady, Isabel, was still there. And his texts with Isabel were far more explicit, practically flirtatious banter between a man and a woman. If Lily or Isabel texted him right now, and Chloe tapped on the notification, he was toast. It would be game over. No matter how terrified he was, Leo kept his hands steady on the steering wheel and asked with feigned calm, Are your parents home today? Chloe was a straightforward, open person. She didn't have a habit of prying into other people's privacy, even her boyfriend's. As long as you didn't act overly nervous, she would never snoop through your phone. At the mention of her parents, the smile vanished from her face. She turned off the screen on Leo's phone with a huff. They just said I should bring you by. I don't care if they approve or not. I'm going to be with you. Chloe had always been a good kid, the model daughter who listened to her parents. But even the most obedient girls have a rebellious streak. At a certain age, that rebelliousness intensifies, driving them to seek out things they normally wouldn't. Chloe was at that age. Normally, she radiated a sweet, first-love innocence and treated everyone with kindness. But once her rebellious side was provoked, she would do things like she did last night, delete her father's number in a fit of anger, or other rash things completely out of character for her. I didn't realize I was so popular, Leo grinned smugly. Don't get cocky, Chloe said, lifting her hand as if to pinch his side, but then remembered he was driving and stopped. Leo, you have to talk to my parents, okay? Be on your best behavior. Her defiant attitude suddenly softened. Like most girls, she wanted her parents' genuine blessing for her relationship. Don't worry, Leo said, taking her soft, pale hand. Just watch how I charm you right out of their grasp. You're impossible, Chloe said, but she was smiling again, her gloomy mood lifting considerably. Don't look so worried. Your parents are just afraid you'll end up with a bad guy. We'll just have a nice chat with them, and everything will be fine. After comforting her gently, Leo held out his hand. Give me my phone. I'll connect to the Bluetooth and play a song for you. Chloe handed him the phone, her eyes full of hope. Good luck. I believe in you. MHM, just wait for my performance. The moment his fingers closed around the phone, the heart that had been lodged in his throat finally dropped back into place. Inside apartment 303 at the waterfront spire, a middle-aged couple was busy in the kitchen of a spacious living room. The dining table was already laden with several signature Portland dishes. The man in the kitchen, around 50, was powerfully built with a buzz cut, his strong hands pressed down on a cutting board, chopping meat with a fierce, resentful expression. This was Chloe's father, Don Miller. The woman beside him, stirring a pot of soup, was her mother, Carla Miller. Don was still fuming. Last night, his precious daughter, the one he doted on his whole life, had actually deleted his contact information just so she could date some boy. And now, she was about to bring that very culprit home. The force of his chopping intensified, the thump, thump, thump making the cutting board tremble. Do you have a personal vendetta against that cutting board? Carla slapped his arm, exasperated. She's just bringing a boyfriend home. Look at you. Oomph. I'm telling you, Chloe is spoiled because of you. We agreed, no dating in college. And what does she do? Starts dating the second freshman orientation is over. Don grumbled, tossing the cleaver aside. He pulled out his phone and opened his messages. His baby girl still hadn't accepted his friend request. Last night, Don had lost his temper with his daughter for the first time, even letting a few curse words slip, explicitly forbidding her from dating in college. But who would have thought Chloe would retaliate by deleting all his contact information, even blocking him on social media? Don had no way to even apologize. The main thing was, he hadn't even yelled at Chloe herself, but the faceless punk who had stolen his daughter's heart. Who knew she would react so strongly, blocking him without a second thought? It wasn't like the obedient daughter he knew at all. Don, what's the big deal? Carla couldn't help but laugh at her pouting husband. Are you planning on keeping Chloe from ever getting married? You can't protect her forever, you know. I have money, Don retorted stubbornly. If Chloe agrees, I'll support her for the rest of her life. Oh, stop it. Look at yourself. You know what Chloe's like, don't you? Carla put down the ladle and warned him seriously. Don, I'm telling you, we're not getting any younger. Don't you dare take your frustration out on some kid. Fine, I know, Don replied impatiently. He was a business owner, after all. He wasn't about to bully a college student, especially not one his daughter brought home. Yesterday, he'd said a few bad things about the guy, and his precious daughter had cut off all contact. If he actually tried to get physical, Don was afraid she might disown him entirely. Don't be so tense. Let's just see what the boy is like, Carla said, tasting the soup. If his character and prospects are good, then as parents, we should let her date him. And if they're not, Don asked hopefully. I know Chloe. I don't think she'd date a boy with bad character, Carla stated confidently. We'll just have to see about everything else. Now stop standing there and chop the meat. I'm waiting for it. Just then, the phone on the counter rang. Don rushed over, saw it was Chloe calling, and answered without a second thought. Hello, sweetheart, where are you? Oomph. Chloe huffed into the phone. Even though it was Don who answered, she spoke loudly. Mom, are you there? We're at the entrance to the complex. Okay, honey, your dad and I are almost done cooking. Come on up. we just parked. Hearing how happy his wife and daughter sounded, Don tentatively leaned toward the phone. Hey, Chloe. The moment his voice was heard, the line went dead, replaced by a string of beeps. Go chop the meat, old man, Carla said, shaking her head with a smile. After you're done, go tidy up Chloe's room. She'll be staying for a couple of days. About 10 minutes later, Leo, loaded down with bags of expensive liquor, cigars, and high-end cosmetics, stood hand-in-hand with Chloe in front of her parents' door. Leo moved to ring the doorbell, but Chloe grabbed his arm. What's wrong? He asked, turning his head. Leo, I'm so nervous, Chloe whispered, trembling. I think I'm more nervous than when I went to your place. Seriously? By all accounts, I should be the one who's nervous. I'm the one meeting your parents. Leo couldn't help but laugh. He squeezed her hand reassuringly. It's okay. I got this. Okay. I'm counting on you. Chloe took a deep breath as Leo raised his hand and pressed the doorbell. The door opened almost immediately, and both Carla and Don stood in the doorway. Seeing her daughter and the tall, handsome young man beside her, Carla was about to greet them with a warm smile when Leo's eyes widened in feigned surprise. He looked at Carla, then turned to Chloe. Hey, Chloe, didn't you say you were an only child? Who is this? What are you doing? This is my mom. Chloe hissed, her heart skipping a beat. She couldn't understand why the usually clever Leo would make such a huge mistake right off the bat. Oh, I'm so sorry, ma'am. My apologies, Leo quickly said, a sheepish grin on his face. You look so young and beautiful. I honestly thought you were Chloe's older sister. I'm really sorry. Oh, not at all. The unexpected compliment caught Carla completely off guard. She waved a hand dismissively, instinctively tucking a strand of hair behind her ear, her face breaking into a radiant smile. I'm nearly 50. I'm hardly young and beautiful. System notification. Carla Miller's affinity has increased by 3 points. Current affinity, 3. Please continue your efforts. It was a universal truth. Women were always conscious of their age. As long as you guessed younger, without being too ridiculous about it, they would be delighted. Are you serious? I honestly can't tell, ma'am. You've taken such great care of yourself, Leo said earnestly, hearing the system's chime. If you and Chloe were walking down the street together, Everyone would think you were sisters, not mother and daughter. Oh, you. Carla was so flattered she was blushing, her heart soaring. She quickly stepped aside, warmly offering them slippers. Come on, it's so hot outside. Get in here and cool off. Watching her mom enthusiastically fetch slippers for Leo, Chloe was completely baffled. What has happened? As soon as Leo had his shoes changed, he felt an intense stare boring into his back. He turned to see Don Miller standing behind Carla, arms crossed, his imposing frame like a temple guardian. He was sizing Leo up, his eyes narrowed into slits, being stared down so openly by a tall, powerfully built father-in-law. Leo would be lying if he said he wasn't nervous. But in a situation like this, showing weakness was not an option. It was classic first impression psychology. The first time you visit your girlfriend's home, the first time you meet her parents, they will subconsciously judge every aspect of your character based on your every move. The wealthier the family, the more crucial it is not to flinch. You had to be generous, confident, and neither arrogant nor subservient. The more you cowered, the more a self-made man like her father would look down on you. He'd see you as a spineless nobody and would never entrust his daughter to someone like that. You must be Mr. Miller, Leo said, striding confidently toward Don, meeting his hostile gaze head-on. He presented the gifts of liquor and cigars. Chloe told me you enjoy a good drink, so I went downtown and picked up this special reserve bourbon. Oh, honey, you shouldn't have bought such an expensive gift, Carla interjected, trying to refuse. Take it back, give it to your own father. My dad quit drinking years ago, Leo said, placing the gifts on a nearby table. He added with a smile, but ma'am, this stuff is pretty strong. You should probably keep an eye on him when he's drinking it. Aha, will do, Carla nodded, beaming. She was growing more and more pleased with this tall young man. She shot a look at the stone-faced Don, nudging him with her eyes. Don glanced at the gifts and gave a perfunctory nod, as if speaking to the air. Right, thoughtful of you. Mom, this is for you, Chloe said, pulling a cosmetics box from another bag and handing it to Carla. Leo drove all over Portland looking for this set for you. Oh, Leo, you spent too much. You should have just come. You didn't need to bring so many things. Don't do this next time. Carla worked in the cosmetics industry. One look at the brand, and she knew her daughter wasn't exaggerating. Chloe, take Leo to the couch and get him some air conditioning. As her daughter led Leo to the living room, Carla jabbed Don's arm and whispered, Go on, talk to the boy. Get something out of him. Don't just stand there like a statue. Don sighed, and with great reluctance, walked into the living room. He was just in time to see his little glutton of a daughter sneaking a piece of barbecue pork from the platter on a coffee table. After finishing her own piece, Chloe licked her fingers, then snuck another slice and fed it directly to Leo. As if that wasn't enough, Don saw that the kid's hand was resting on his precious daughter's waist. The sight of them being so lovey-dovey made Don's back teeth ache. He cleared his throat loudly. Startled, Leo instinctively removed his hand from Chloe's waist. He was in her parents' house. After all, it was best to keep things respectful, especially since her father was clearly a very protective dad. Chloe, however, just huffed defiantly and snuggled closer to Leo. Don sat down next to Leo, resting his hands on his knees, trying to think of what to ask. He'd never imagined his daughter would bring a boyfriend home, and all the standard father-in-law questions escaped him. Although he was still simmering with resentment toward the boy who'd stolen his daughter, as the man of the house, he had to ask something. After a long pause, Don finally managed the most generic question possible. So, where are you from? I'm a local, sir. From Portland, Leo answered politely. Local. We're from Florida. That explains it. The barbecue is delicious, Leo said with genuine praise. Don's expression soured. He'd just seen Chloe feed the boy a piece with her own hands. You look like you're in good shape. Must work out a lot. Don forced a friendly smile through gritted teeth. He grabbed a small stool, moved it between them, and slapped his own thick bicep. Come on, let's arm wrestle. I want to see what you're made of. I don't know, sir, Leo demurred. You're a big guy. I don't think I could beat you. Chloe clung to Leo's arm. Yeah, don't do it, she said petulantly. It's fine, it's just for fun. Come on, come on. Hearing his daughter take the outsider's side only fueled Don's irritation. Not waiting for another refusal, he grabbed Leo's hand. All right, just for fun, Leo relented, adjusting his position to face off against his potential future father-in-law. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Veins popped on Don's forehead as the muscles in his arm bulged. This kid, he's strong, Don thought in disbelief. Was this really the strength of a college kid? Leo pretended to be straining, but in reality, he felt nothing. He consumed a body boost serum, after all. But this wasn't a battle he needed to win. In his father-in-law's house, You had to let the old man save face. Leo instantly relaxed his arm. Don, caught off guard, slammed Leo's hand down onto the stool with a loud smack. What are you doing? Mom, look at your husband. Chloe cried out. She immediately pulled Leo's hand toward her, saw the red mark on the back of it, and pouted with concern, blowing gently on his skin. It's nothing, it doesn't hurt, Leo said with an easy smile. Sir, you're really strong. You must have been a beast in your younger days. Huh, you're pretty strong yourself, Don said, looking at his own hand, which was dotted with sweat. He looked at the young man and gave a slight, satisfied nod. He knew Leo had let him win. With the force the kid had shown at the start, there was no way he could have lost that easily. This kid knows how to handle people, Don thought. System notification. Don Miller's affinity has increased by 2 points. Current affinity, 2. Please continue your efforts. Don, come help me in the kitchen, Carla called. When he entered, she berated him, her voice a furious whisper. Don, what is wrong with you? A grown man bullying a young boy? Arm wrestling? Are you a child? Hey, we're just playing, Don muttered distractedly. He glanced back at the couch, where Leo was comforting his precious daughter. He had to admit, the kid wasn't so bad after all. A few minutes later, Carla carried a large tureen of chicken soup to the table and called the two lovebirds over from the couch. Chloe and Carla sat next to each other, while Leo sat beside the imposing figure of his father-in-law. Carla handed Leo a set of silverware, poured him a glass of iced tea, and said warmly, Leo, we're from Florida, so we're not the best cooks. I hope you find these dishes to your liking. 1. Not the best cooks? What arrogance. Not to my liking? What a death wish? 2. Not the best cooks? Simple. Tie your hair back, don't turn around, and I'll show you how it's done. 3. Hey, anything a mom makes is a home-cooked meal. There's no good or bad. My only worry is you'll get tired of watching me eat so much. Hey, anything a mom makes is a home-cooked meal. There's no good or bad. Leo took the pitcher of iced tea and poured a glass for Chloe, who was sitting next to him, before adding with a playful smile, My only worry is you'll get tired of watching me eat so much. System notification. Carla Miller's affinity has increased by 3 points. Current affinity, 6. Please continue your efforts. System notification. Don Miller's affinity has increased by 2 points. Current affinity, 4. Please continue your efforts. Not all, not at all. Eat as much as you want. When you're done, I'll make more, Carla said, waving her hand with a delighted laugh. She was thoroughly impressed with the polite, clever young man her daughter had brought home. She was already planning on asking him to stay for dinner. Don's affinity had increased, not because of the compliment, but because of the small gesture of Leo pouring a drink for Chloe. Having been in the logistics business for so long, Don had seen it all and met every type of person. He could size someone up after just a short time, a skill many self-made men develop. When Leo first walked in, Don's impression was that he was a smooth talker who had tricked his daughter with empty words. But then Leo had deliberately lost the arm wrestling match, adding a new tag in Don's mind. Knows how to handle people, understands social etiquette. And just now, even though his own hand had been slammed, Leo was the one comforting his daughter. Now, while charming his mother-in-law, he still remembered to pour his girlfriend a drink. These small, seemingly insignificant actions demonstrated not only that the kid had a calm and steady heart, but also that he genuinely treated his daughter well in their daily lives. Huh, Don sighed softly. He had relented. He pulled a pack of Reds from his pocket, lit one, and then slid the pack and a lighter across the table to Leo. Here, have one. His tone was casual, almost dismissive, but it was a clear sign of his initial approval. Don was old school through and through. In his early days, fighting for territory in the logistics game, he'd often gotten into bloody brawls with competitors and had even done a couple of years in jail. When he wanted to make a friend, he didn't bother with pleasantries or asking about hobbies. A smoke was the bridge, and a drink was the road. That was his social style, a relic from a different era. Even today, it was how most men got to know each other over drinks. Thanks. Leo knew this was an olive branch. He expertly tapped a cigarette from the pack. Just as he was about to light it, Don asked with a sly grin, "Oh, you smoke?" "I do, but not often," Leo said, rubbing his nose, a bit embarrassed. He tucked the unlit cigarette behind his ear, wondering what this father-in-law was up to. "So I'm stealing your daughter. Do you really have to mess with me like this?" He thought. "Does Leo smoke?" Carla asked quietly, though she didn't seem particularly opposed. Her own husband was a decades-long smoker, and all his friends were chimneys. She didn't see anything wrong with a man smoking. "Yeah, I've seen him drink too," Chloe shrugged nonchalantly, then added proudly, "but he's never smoked in front of me." "Well, that's good. Not like your father, making me breathe his secondhand smoke for 30 years. Knowing that he avoided smoking around her daughter, Carla's opinion of Leo rose another notch. During the meal, the older couple avoided the topic of Leo and Chloe's relationship. The conversation was lively and the atmosphere relaxed. That serious discussion was the main event, usually saved for after the meal. After dinner, once the table was cleared, the four of them sat down on the couches in the living room. This was it, the real interview, the most critical moment. Leo, how old are you? And what do you do? Carla asked, setting a bowl of grapes on the coffee table and sitting next to him. Her tone was friendly, but with an undercurrent of seriousness. And how did you and our Chloe meet? Don sat nearby, sipping warm tea, his full attention on their conversation. I'm 24, and I'm a little embarrassed to say I haven't found a proper job since graduating. I'm a web fiction author right now, Leo said honestly. Chloe and I met right after she started school. At the time, she and I left. Before Leo could finish, Don sprayed a mouthful of hot tea. Wiping his mouth hastily, he asked, his voice strained, "Wait, you met my daughter when she had just started college?" Leo scratched his head, feigning shyness. You could say that. Don started to say something, but was silenced by a sharp glare from Carla. So you two met that early, Carla said, her expression clearing. And what is this web fiction author thing? Leo explained, I write novels online. Wow, so you're a real writer, Carla said, impressed. She then asked the classic question. So how much do you make a month? Many people read novels these days, but few knew how much web authors actually earned. Whenever someone met one in real life, they always asked the same things. How much do you make? Do you have benefits? Have you published any physical books? Of course, when strangers asked, it was just curiosity. When a mother-in-law asked, it was a subtle inquiry into your financial stability. She was worried about whether her daughter would be secure with you, whether her future would be stable. Carla and Don Miller were financially comfortable. Don's logistics company, while not huge, just over a dozen employees, making it a small business, couldn't compare to the national giants. But in today's hyper-connected world, his company still cleared over $800,000 a year in pure profit, easily breaking $1 million during peak season. Society is a realistic place. Being a smooth talker isn't enough. You have to make real money to earn respect. If you were broke, you could talk until you were blue in the face, but no one would entrust their daughter to a recent college graduate. So, despite their own wealth, they would never be willing to let their only daughter, whom they had raised with such care, end up with a penniless boyfriend. When I first met Chloe this year, I wrote a novel that did really well, Leo stated plainly. Last month, I earned over $150,000. The royalties should be available for withdrawal in a few days. You could spin stories for anyone, even your own parents. But with your girlfriend's parents, you had to be completely honest. They were older, had seen more of the world, and wouldn't fall for some nonsense about future plans and grand schemes. They cared about one thing. If their daughter ended up with you, would things like a house and a car be secure? Would she have to suffer? The moment the words left Leo's mouth, Don choked on his tea again, spraying it everywhere. Wait, how much? It wasn't just Don. Carla, and even Chloe stared at Leo in disbelief. Most people couldn't earn that much in several years, yet Leo had made it in a single month and was talking about it so casually. Chloe was starting to have doubts. She tugged on Leo's sleeve and whispered, Don't exaggerate so much. Leo, it's not that I don't believe you, Carla said with a nervous laugh. It's just, that's a big claim, and I don't really understand what you young people do. Do you have a pay stub or something you could show me? I do, ma'am. Leo took out his phone. Under the watchful eyes of all three, he opened his author portal app. There, sitting quietly on the screen, was a string of numbers. $235, $428, 03. Available for withdrawal in 3 days. System notification. Carla Miller's affinity has increased by 10 points. Current affinity, 16. Please continue your efforts. System notification. Don Miller's affinity has increased by 5 points. Current affinity, 9. Please continue your efforts. Just a glimpse of his wealth had boosted their affinity so much. Leo had to marvel again at the power of money. It truly was the universal key. Whoa, the visual impact of that number was explosive. Carla gasped, her eyes wide with shock. She exchanged a stunned look with Don, momentarily speechless. Was writing novels really that lucrative now? Over $200,000 in a month? Don was just as shaken, but to be safe, he had to ask, You're not writing any of that illegal stuff, are you? Pornography or something? No, sir. I write progression fantasy, Leo explained. The platform has a very strict review process. You can't even describe anything below the neck. There's no way I could write that kind of novel. Oh, you write progression fantasy? Don's interest was piqued. What's your pen name? I'll look you up. Leo told him his author ID and the title of his book, then added with a smile, Are you a fan of novels, sir? Ah, you have no idea, Leo. Your uncle here can't fall asleep at night without an audiobook playing, Carla said with a mock disgusted expression, which quickly turned into a laugh. I think I've listened to half a dozen books along with him. Some books are great for helping you sleep, Leo responded with a smile. Beside him, Chloe was whispering, Leo the liar, why didn't you ever tell me? You said you only made a few thousand a month. Is this your friend's author account? No way. This stuff is all about inspiration. Sometimes you get an idea, and you write a hit. It's normal, Leo explained. That's why, after this book is done, I have no idea if the next one will do as well. Oh, Leo, your next book will be even better. Carla chimed in with a smile, then exchanged a look with Don. The old couple was silently confirming the truth of the matter. After all, making that much in a month was just too incredible for a 24-year-old. Don pursed his lips and gave a serious nod. His hobbies were few. Besides smoking and drinking, he loved listening to audiobooks to unwind. He searched for Leo's novel on his phone and found that it dominated nearly every bestseller list on the platform, and the comment section was filled with glowing reviews. Don was in a group chat with other audiobook fans and had seen screenshots of top-tier authors earning six figures a month. But to see it in real life, and for it to be his own daughter's boyfriend, his potential future son-in-law, the feeling was just surreal. I'll have to check out your writing sometime, Don said, awkwardly correcting his almost disrespectful phrasing. Yes, I hope you'll give me some feedback after you read it, Leo replied with a sincere nod. The older couple exchanged another look and couldn't help but smile. This kid really knew how to talk. He was making over $200,000 a month and was still asking for feedback from an old man who didn't write. That was giving him a tremendous amount of respect. They chatted for a few more minutes. Don, finally letting go of his reservations, smiled and extended an invitation. Stay for dinner tonight. We can open that bottle you brought. Of course. Whatever you say, sir, Leo replied happily. When a boyfriend meets his girlfriend's parents for the first time, if they have lunch and then ask him to stay for dinner, it's a sign that they're willing to entrust their daughter to him. If they don't say anything after the meal, it means he hasn't met their expectations. Leo was savvy, young, wealthy, and well-spoken. Most importantly, he was clearly very good to their daughter. He seemed to have no flaws. Don felt he had no more excuses to stand in their way. His only remaining fear was that the kid was too smooth, too handsome. He couldn't help but wonder how many other girls were fawning over him. He worried that Leo might be the type to be a player, the kind of man who would have a girl in every port. The four of them sat around the coffee table, the conversation growing more and more lively. Don, who had initially been dismissive, became quite talkative himself, regaling Leo with animated stories of his early days hustling back in Florida. When he got to the exciting parts, he'd slap his thigh with a surge of adrenaline, pointing out the various scars on his arms and torso. Men of a certain age love to tell the younger generation about their past struggles. Don not only told stories of building his business and family, but also spoke of the 2 strange years he'd spent inside. This was something he would never normally tell an outsider. By sharing it, he was already signaling his acceptance of Leo. Look at your father, Carla said to Chloe as they started preparing dinner in the kitchen. You have no idea how sour his face was before you two got here this morning. Chloe was still holding a grudge about what Don had said about Leo the night before. Who cares about him? She said stubbornly. All right now, fathers and daughters shouldn't hold grudges, Carla reminded her seriously. Find a chance to talk to your dad properly. Don't just forget your family once you're married. Mom, what are you talking about? I just started college, Chloe said, her cheeks flushing. She pouted. Besides, I'm not going to just blindly marry him unless he proposes to me. Like all girls, Chloe dreamed of a deeply romantic wedding. She could forgive Leo for not officially asking her out before taking her on dates and nearly stealing her first kiss. After all, he'd already had his way with her in every other sense. But marriage was a huge deal. Leo had to get down on one knee with a diamond ring and propose. Only after she said, yes, could they have a wedding. Puffed. It's the 21st century. Who still bothers with that old-fashioned stuff? Carla said dismissively. Your father and I still don't even know what a marriage certificate looks like. And we had you and turned out just fine, didn't we? Mom, you can't compare your generation to now, Chloe retorted. Anyway, I absolutely need Leo to propose to me before we can get married. Whatever you want. I, for one, really like this kid, Carla stated with a satisfied sigh. Leo is handsome, he makes good money, and most importantly, he knows how to talk. He's even got your stubborn old father wrapped around his finger like a child. I know your temper, Mom, Carla added, her tone becoming more earnest. You could be stubborn, unreasonable, and sometimes you just dig your heels in. If you two ever get into a fight, you absolutely cannot be reckless. You have to communicate with him properly. I would really like to have Leo as my son-in-law. We're not even close to that yet, Chloe muttered shyly, glancing into the living room. There they were, the boy she loved and her own father, talking animatedly like old friends about progression fantasy novels. I hope so, Chloe thought, a sweet, hopeful smile spreading across her delicate face. Dinner's ready, you two great heroes, Carla called out with a laugh, placing the last dish on the table. Leo and Don walked over to the table, talking and laughing. To Carla and Chloe's astonishment, Don had one arm draped casually over Leo's shoulders. They looked less like a father and son-in-law and more like a pair of sworn brothers. You just wait, kid. I'm going to show you a bottle I've been saving for years. I guarantee it'll make your tongue go numb, Don said, slapping Leo's shoulder eagerly before turning to fetch the liquor from the pantry. The moment Don was gone, Chloe leaned in and whispered, "What kind of spell did you cast on my dad? He's like a completely different person." "What are you talking about?" "I was just chatting with him," Leo said with a casual smile. If he couldn't win over his father-in-law, even with the system's help, he might as well just restart his life. "Leo, look at this. I bet even your dad has never had this. A 2000 vintage, you can't even buy it on the market anymore," Don said excitedly. He then frowned and tapped Chloe on the shoulder. "Go on, go sit with your mom. Leo and I are going to have a drink." "Chloe?" Question mark. The meal was basically a two-man show, with Don and Leo drinking and bonding. Chloe and Carla finished their food and watched from the side, a mixture of amusement and relief on their faces. Don could really hold his liquor. He genuinely wanted to drink with Leo, but he also had a hidden agenda, to get him drunk and make him spill some truths. Leo, for his part, was preparing for a long night of drinking with his father-in-law. But he had no idea that after drinking the body boost serum, his alcohol tolerance had become astonishingly high. In the past, 2 shots of hard liquor would have knocked him out cold. Now, after 7 or 8 glasses, he didn't even feel a buzz. Don, on the other hand, was beet red. He was draped over Leo's shoulder like a limp noodle, slurring his words. "Leo, you have no idea. She's my only girl. It's not that I don't want her to date. I'm just afraid she'll meet a bad guy. Are you even drinking? Why is your glass always empty? Don't you dare try to cheat on me. Come on, finish this glass, and I'll take you out for karaoke." "Leo, it feels weird calling me sir all the time. You should call me Dad. Let me hear it. Hey, for that, Carla, bring me my wallet." After several hours of this, Don was finally dead drunk and had to be carried to the bedroom by Carla. Leo undid a button on his shirt, taking a deep breath. "Your dad can really drink." "Huh, I feel like you're the one who can really drink," Chloe said, unsure whether to laugh or cry. "You have no idea. My dad has never gotten this drunk before. You're seriously impressive." Youth, you know. You could just pour it down," Leo said, exhaling heavily. He checked the time. It was already past 8. Just then, Carla came out of the bedroom. "Ma'am," Leo said, "thank you so much for your hospitality today. It's getting late, so I should be going. I'll come visit again soon." "Hey, Leo, you've had so much to drink. How are you going to drive?" Carla quickly grabbed his arm, afraid he was about to get behind the wheel. "It's not like we don't have a spare room. I'll go get it ready for you. You're sleeping here tonight." "Oh, I couldn't. It's my first time visiting," Leo said, scratching his head sheepishly. "What's the big deal?" Carla laughed. "Now listen to me. I'll find you a pair of your uncle's pajamas. You can go take a shower first. You're staying here tonight." "Well, in that case, thank you for the trouble," Leo said with a shy smile, then turned to look expectantly at a blushing Chloe. After his shower, Leo, dressed in his father-in-law's loose pajamas, lay down in the room his mother-in-law had prepared. The Miller's apartment was a large 4-bedroom unit. Besides Leo's guest room, there was another spare bedroom. The couple often had business associates visit, so these rooms were kept ready for friends and family and used for storage when empty. The waterfront spire was also in a prime school district, right next to one of Portland's most prestigious universities, a top-ranked institution in the country. Consequently, property values in the spire were astonishingly high, starting at thousands of dollars per square foot. It was arguably one of the most expensive residential buildings in the city. The residents were all affluent families. There was only one waterfront spire in Portland. As they were driving over, Leo had already realized this was the building owned by his landlady, Isabel Vance. As a Portland local, Leo knew how sought after this property was. This prime piece of real estate had originally belonged to a mysterious tycoon named Sheen. For a few years, it had even been part of the portfolio of the Miller Group, formerly a leading corporation in Portland. Then, for some unknown reason, Mr. Sheen had sold this guaranteed cash cow. The news had been huge at the time, plastered all over pop-up ads, with headlines speculating about conspiracy theories, grabbing the attention of many locals. Leo hadn't delved too deep into his landlady's assets or family background. But for her to be able to take over such a gold mine meant Isabel Vance was no ordinary property manager. She might even know the elusive Mr. Sheen. I hope this doesn't get complicated later, he thought. Here he was, in Isabel's building. If he started visiting the Millers regularly, he might actually run into her. Although Isabel had said she wouldn't meddle in his private life, who could guarantee a woman's feelings would remain unchanged? Whatever, I'll deal with it when it happens. Leo pushed the thoughts aside, feeling like he was worrying for nothing. In an unfamiliar environment, and in his girlfriend's house no less, Leo wasn't sleepy. He pulled out his phone and started scrolling through TikTok. Just then, the door creaked open. Chloe, in her pajamas, tiptoed in like a cartoon velociraptor and sat on the edge of his bed. Hee hee, Leo the liar, you asleep yet? What are you doing here? Leo sat up, overjoyed. He reached out, took her soft hand, and asked excitedly, Are you here to sleep with me? Come on. Chloe had just showered. She was wearing a thin, blue cartoon print pajama set. As she sat down, a fresh, clean scent washed over him. Below her pajama pants, her bare, pale feet were in a pair of house slippers, revealing 10 delicate, pink toes that wiggled playfully. The sight was adorable and impish, and Leo found himself swallowing hard. For a guy with a serious leg and foot fixation, those exquisite feet were a feast for the eyes. Every toe was a piece of candy. Hey, what are you thinking? Chloe huffed, her face turning red. She instinctively curled her toes back into her slippers. I just came to see if you were comfortable. Nope, not comfortable at all, Leo said, shaking his head. He scooted over, expertly pulling Chloe into his arms. It's my first time at your house. I'm really nervous. Why don't you stay and keep me company tonight? I don't believe you. Let me go, my mom might see. Chloe struggled weakly for a moment, then relaxed into his embrace, her cheeks still flushed, her words contradicting her actions. You're always so handsy. I knew I shouldn't have come. Of course, she had snuck in precisely to be close to him. But a girl's pride and modesty demanded she find excuses and reasons to maintain her playful, stubborn little attitude. Hee hee, if you hadn't come, I would have come looking for you, Leo said, nuzzling his face in her fragrant hair. When you came to my place, you came right into my room. I haven't even been in your room all day. I'm not letting you in, Chloe said proudly. Even my dad has to ask for permission to go into my room. Fine, then I won't go to your room. Leo planted a gentle kiss on her smooth, fair cheek and whispered intimately. So, is that promise we made last time still on? What promise? I don't know what you're talking about, Chloe stammered, her heart racing as she felt his heavy breath, pretending to be clueless. You know what I'm talking about, Leo murmured, his lips brushing against her pink earlobe. He shifted his grip, one arm around her slender waist, the other sweeping under her legs, and in one smooth motion, lifted her fully onto the bed. Leo, what are you doing? Chloe, flustered and excited, pressed her hand against his, which was slowly inching upwards. Come on, this is my house. My parents are right next door, she reminded him, her face flushed. Don't worry, I won't do anything to you, Leo said, caressing her hot cheek. I just want to talk with you, can't I? Her parents were right next door. He wasn't going to cross any major lines in their home. It was his first time meeting them, and her mother had graciously invited him to stay. To do something outrageous with their daughter would be disrespectful. Of course, he couldn't let such a perfect opportunity go to waste either. With the mood being just right, he could give Chloe a little push, a confidence boost. That way, when the time came for the main event, she wouldn't be so resistant. Then just talk. No. You know what? Chloe said, too embarrassed to finish the sentence. Just talking it is, Leo said, opening the conversation. So how'd I do today? Was I okay? You get a big thumbs up. Chloe, well-versed in internet memes, gave him a playful, happy thumbs up. Leo's performance today had truly impressed her. Even her father, Don, the person most likely to object to their relationship, had been completely won over. So if I did so well, do I get a reward? Like a kiss? Oh, why are you always thinking about things like that? You're such a perv, Chloe said, swatting him playfully, a mix of indignation and shyness in her voice. But thinking about her parents next door, likely asleep by now, she felt a thrill of excitement. This was the boy she loved, her first love. They were going to get married someday. So what was a little kiss? He'd already taken her first one, the scoundrel. Babe, I'm a normal, healthy young man. If I'm in bed with you and not thinking about stuff like that, there's something wrong with my brain, Leo said, holding her soft, fragrant body in his arms. He chuckled. Besides, what's a man supposed to be into if not beautiful women? Finance reports. Haha, you're so annoying. Chloe giggled, her body squirming playfully in his arms as she shot him a cute, exasperated look. Leo knew he had his opening. He tightened his arm around her waist, gently cupped her exquisite face, and slowly leaned in. Wait! Chloe suddenly broke free, slipped on her slippers, and padded out of the room. After confirming that her parents' bedroom door was closed, she scurried back, locked her own door behind her, and climbed back onto Leo's bed. Seriously? Was that necessary? Leo asked, amused. Of course it was. Chloe shot him a look. My skin isn't as thick as yours. If my parents caught us in my own house, I'd be too embarrassed to come home for the next 4 years of college. If your parents caught us, it would be perfect. Then you could just move in with me, Leo said hopefully. Ugh, why are you always like this? Chloe was flustered by his mix of crude and affectionate words, feeling a strange combination of feigned annoyance and an irresistible urge to smile. Like what? Leo asked, then stole a quick kiss from her lips. Tell me, how else am I supposed to know? You're terrible, Chloe mumbled, pressing her lips together, a mix of petulance and shyness in her voice. Then, propping herself up on her hands, she slowly crawled in his lap, stretched her elegant neck, and clumsily but forcefully pressed her lips against his. Even the most well-behaved, reserved girl will eventually let her guard down for the right guy. For Chloe, this was that moment. Here she was with the boy she loved, a boy her parents approved of, doing this in her own home. Cloaked in darkness, with the sound of her father's deafening snores from the next room, Chloe felt an incredible thrill. She even dared to slide her pale, small hand under Leo's shirt. Leo sat cross-legged on the bed, his arms wrapped around his elf princess, thoroughly enjoying the passionate, uninhibited kisses from PSU's campus queen, the girl who was every guy's wildest fantasy. His hands weren't idle either, and this time, Chloe didn't resist. In fact, to make it easier for him, she shifted her position, her usually clear, bright eyes now clouded with desire. System notification. Chloe Miller's affinity has increased by 5 points. Current affinity, 47. Please continue your efforts. Babe, feel this. Hearing the system's notification, Leo felt an urge to push things further. Thump, thump, thump. The sound of footsteps outside the door made them both freeze, clinging to each other. The sound of a toilet flushing brought a wave of relief. It must have been one of her parents getting up to use the bathroom. But a second later, the footsteps grew closer. They paused first at Chloe's door, then stopped right outside Leo's. The steps were steady and light. It had to be Carla, not the drunken Dawn. Carla must have noticed Chloe wasn't in her room and guessed she'd snuck over to Leo's. She didn't know the door was locked from the inside, but she didn't try the handle either, likely worried about walking in on something awkward. Chloe, it's getting late. Go to sleep now and don't bother Leo. Carla's voice came through the door, a tone of gentle resignation. Then came the sound of her own door closing. The words were seemingly for Chloe, but they were meant for both of them. Her parents had been around the block. They knew exactly what two young people might get up to. Carla didn't want her daughter to fall into the wolf's den so quickly, hence the pointed hint. Your mom's doing late-night rounds, Leo chuckled awkwardly, pulling his pajama pants back up. Chloe, coming back to her senses, caught a glimpse and blushed furiously. She couldn't believe she had just been about to touch. I'm going back now. You should get some sleep. The Empress had spoken. Leo had no choice but to watch as Chloe slipped off the bed, put on her slippers, and padded out of the room. Her mind already racing, and having just seen that, Chloe couldn't fall asleep once she was back in her own bed. She tossed and turned, clutching her chest to calm her pounding heart. After a long while, she finally picked up her phone and texted Leo. Elf Princess. Leo the liar. You asleep? Offline mode. No way, babe. Can't sleep at all. Want to sneak out? Elf Princess, no. My mom will definitely come wake us up for breakfast. If we're not here, she'll know exactly what we were doing. Offline mode. Panda sighing emoji. Elf Princess. Leo, do you really like me? Like, you'll always be good to me? Leo paused, then replied without hesitation, of course. I'll always be good to you. They'd almost gone all the way, and tomorrow was Sunday. A question like this was clearly a final confirmation. Sure enough, just as he expected. Elf Princess. Tomorrow, then. Let's go out tomorrow, since it's Sunday. Offline mode, deal. Love you, babe. Elf Princess. But, Leo, I want to ask you a question. Can you answer me honestly? Crap. Did I slip up somewhere? Seeing that message, Leo felt a jolt of panic, but he typed back. Sure. Ask away. How big is your? Chloe desperately wanted to know the real situation. But asking that question, whether as a girl or a girlfriend, was just too embarrassing. She held her breath, deleted the text, and, after thinking it over, replied with her face burning. Elf Princess, never mind. I'll ask you tomorrow. Go to sleep. We have to get up for breakfast. Offline mode. Okay, good night, babe. What did you want to ask? Leo wondered, lying on his side. If she had found out about Lily or Isabel, she wouldn't have been all over him just now. Wait a second. Putting all the pieces together, what just happened, and the context of her texts, Leo suddenly realized exactly what Chloe had wanted to ask. Last night, the two of them had been a tinderbox, nearly bursting into flames in Chloe's own home. Her mind kept replaying Leo's words, "Babe, feel this." In such a state of excitement, Chloe couldn't sleep at all. She tossed and turned until after 5 in the morning before finally drifting off. When she woke up, it was nearly 11 a.m., and only because Carla had called her name several times. Chloe stumbled into the living room in her loose blue pajamas, where Leo was once again deep in a conversation with Dawn about some arcane progression fantasy topic. So sleepy, Leo the liar, Chloe mumbled, all dopey and sluggish. She threw herself onto Leo, rubbing against him like a cat, and complained groggily, "It's all your fault. You kept me up all night." Fearing what his father-in-law might think, Leo quickly added, "I told you not to binge-watch that show last night, but you wouldn't listen. Now you see what happens." Don sat nearby, his expression as complex as a used rag in a pharmacy, a mixture of a dozen different emotions. In the past, his precious daughter would wake up and throw herself into his arms for morning cuddles. Now, he could only watch helplessly as she clung to another man. It was a sight every father both wished for and dreaded. A daughter is a daughter till she gets a husband, I guess, Don sighed internally, taking a deep drag from his cigarette. All right, you're a grown woman. You used to cling to your dad. Now you're clinging to Leo, Carla said, both amused and pleased. Go brush your teeth and wash your face. Didn't Leo say he was taking you out today? Hurry up. At those words, Chloe, who had been half asleep, was instantly wide awake. The main reason she couldn't sleep last night was because she was so excited about going out with Leo today. Carla's reminder brought back everything that had happened and the promise she'd made to him. I knew I shouldn't have agreed last night, Chloe thought, glancing at Leo with a blush. But then she remembered how happy he'd made her parents yesterday. After a moment of hesitation, she bit her lip and, under Carla's urging, shyly headed to the bathroom. Watching the curve of her graceful back, Leo thought, is today the day this goblin finally conquers the elf princess? They'd been dating for almost half a year. They had done everything except take the final step, and they'd both met each other's parents. At this rate, if Leo wasn't such a player, they could very well get married right after Chloe graduated. Just then, Leo fixed his gaze on the elf princess's back and activated his God's Eye ability. Name, Chloe Miller. Gender, female. Age, 20. Appearance, 9'7" height, 5'6" weight, 108 lbs. Hobbies, watching horror movies, sweets, cuddling with her boyfriend. Measurements, 30C, 24-30. Affinity for host, 47. Relationship status, in a relationship. Current mood, nervous, excited, feeling a mix of apprehension and curiosity about what's to come. Current location, the waterfront spire, apt. 605 intimate encounters, 0 solo sessions, 24. I guess even the campus queen has her needs, Leo thought, amused but not surprised. Chloe was a normal girl, and in today's hyper-online world, it wasn't like she was some cloistered nun. How could she not have a private life? If guys could relieve their boredom, it was only natural for girls to have their own ways of handling things. Not every girl was as innocent and clueless as Lily. Once a girl wakes up, the process of getting ready is an intricate ritual, even for a campus queen. Chloe made countless trips between the bathroom and her bedroom. An hour later, she finally emerged, transformed from the lazy, cuddly girl into the radiant elf princess Leo adored. She had dressed simply today, a light, airy white t-shirt, a simple yet stylish short skirt, and a pair of white canvas sneakers. Her dark hair was pulled back into its usual energetic ponytail, and she wore a hint of makeup on her exquisite face. Normally, after getting ready, Chloe radiated a cheerful, sunny energy. Today, however, she seemed a bit bashful, her eyes darting around as if she had a guilty conscience. Luckily, her parents didn't notice anything. Don even advised, "It's not that hot outside today. You're wearing so little, you'll catch a cold. Go get a jacket." Chloe didn't feel like rummaging through her closet for a suitable jacket. Oh, Please, you guys have the AC blasting in here. Of course you think it's not hot. Listen to your father, honey. The forecast said it's going to cool down and rain tonight, Carla added, worried Chloe would get sick. Go find a jacket, or I'll find one for you. Ugh, I'm not a child. I know when I'm cold or hot. Chloe grumbled impatiently, grabbing Leo's arm to leave. It is supposed to get colder today, Leo said, gently tugging on her sleeve with a smile. Listen to your parents. Go grab something, I'll wait. It's only a few minutes. Really? Chloe pouted, glancing down at her summery outfit. She thought for a moment. Fine, I'll go get something warmer. Watching their daughters retreating back, the older couple smiled with a mix of pride and resignation. They were proud that the daughter they had raised with so much love had found an excellent boyfriend, one whose opinion she clearly valued. They were resigned to the fact that, from now on, she would probably only listen to his opinion. That was the bittersweet reality for every parent of an only daughter. Let's go. Chloe returned, holding a light jacket. She handed it to Leo. It's still hot now, so you hold it for me. You can give it back when it gets cold later. You got it, Leo said with a doting nod. He turned to the older couple. Mr. and Mrs. Miller, thank you for everything these past 2 days. I'll come by again soon. Of course, Leo. Drive safe and come visit anytime. Under the warm, approving gazes of her parents, Leo took Chloe's hand and the door closed behind them. Part 2. Mandatory separators.